our
Yes,
concerns.
please.
Actually, our chairperson of the TEPS appeal, our board member Pat Dalmas, is a sitting board member of the TESDA board. And kung may mga concerns po tayo sa TESDA, pwede po natin ipaabot sa kanya later on. And at the same time po, kung meron po tayong, kung hindi man po niya masagot, ay ipapaabot po niya sa TESDA yung mga concerns natin. Later po yon. So for now po, I think it's ready 2 o'clock. So we have 96 attendees already. I am sorry for the others. We have 7 attendees who can see us, but we cannot see them. 8 now. I can no longer accommodate them as panelists because we are still waiting for the other panelists also to join us. But of course, they can participate. They can ask questions through the chat too. And also, please raise their hand, or I'm sorry, I couldn't see pala their raised hands, but if they could chat, and then we can also allow them to talk later on. Kasi may pwede naman po mag-talk ang mga attendees, but we cannot see them po. Okay, so are we all ready to start? I'm sorry, we cannot start with the Lupang Hinirang. I couldn't share the screen. There's something wrong with my laptop this afternoon. But we can start with a prayer. So may I now call on Sir Efren Daniel De Leon of the WRI and the president of the or the chairman of the ESDC Region 5.
Maraming salamat, Attorney Pichi. May we always be protected by the Almighty. This is a prayer in time of the pandemic. Galing po to kay Father Jet Villarin, shared to me graciously by Attorney Pichi. So let us bow our head and feel the presence of the Lord. Lord of life, help us to listen to what you are telling us these days. Lead us to know what you are asking of us in this storm. You are inviting us to leave familiar shores while the waves are high. You are asking us to make this crossing to the other side while the horizon is dark. We do not know what this other side holds for us. We are afraid. You know our fear. Give us faith to see you with us now in this boat tossed by the waves. Give us hope to hold on to when life rolls sideways and the lurching becomes unbearable. Give us love to give to each other when our hearts break, when we are tired from rowing against the wind, when we are hungry and lost and alone. Please give us enough light to keep us going, enough silence so we can listen to how you are asking us to take heart, to keep together and not be afraid. Our old plans are shut, our dreams disrupted. Bring your dreams then closer to ours. Turn our lives so that your longing becomes our longing. We are made in the likeness of you. You are the Lord of the waves and the wind, the giver of life, the conqueror of death. Lead us to draw boldness and creative power from your limitless love. Empower us to find our strength in you. Help us be brave. We take the words of Sir Francis Drake to be our prayer today. Disturb us, O Lord, when we are too pleased with ourselves, when our dreams have come true, because we dream too little, when we have arrived in safety, because we sailed too close to the shore. Disturb us, O Lord, when with the abundance of things we possess, we have lost our thirst for the water of life. When having fallen in love with time, we have ceased to dream of eternity, and in our efforts to build the new earth, have allowed our vision of the new heaven to grow dim. Steer us, O Lord, to dare more boldly, to venture in wider seas, where storms shall show thy mastery, where losing sight of land, we shall find the stars. In the name of him who pushed back the horizons of our hopes and invited the brave to follow him. Amen. Magandang hapon
Amen.
po
Amen.
sa inyong lahat. In the name of
Good
the Father, of
afternoon.
the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sir Dan. We now have 102 participants for the information of everybody. So we now proceed with the welcome remarks of our President, uh, Sir Tony Galvez. Before he proceeds, I would just like to mention that this is the general membership meeting of the Technical Vocational Schools Association of the Philippines, the TEVSAPhil, with the theme TVET, Clear Support in Response to COVID-19. This is a Zoom meeting which we have converted into a webinar because we have exceeded the 100 participant limit. So I am sorry for other attendees who can only see us but we cannot see them. Okay, so they are about 14 po. So, okay po. So now we can proceed, Sir Tony. Good, you can now unmute yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Attorney Pichi. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Ang kumakalat na epidemya ay talaga namang napakalaking naging ating problema at binago ang sistema ng pamumuhay ng buong mundo. So the world's greatest disruption is the COVID-19 pandemic is indeed upon us. And God forbids may linger longer unless we shall have the cure very soon. School closures have affected over 1.2 billion students worldwide, including those in the TVET system. We stakeholders and private TVIs cannot be mere spectators. That's why we are coming up with series of seminars, webinars, so we can help each other towards the new normal in education. The new normal calls for so many new protocols to be put in place before businesses, schools, and other establishments could resume operations. At the workplace, there should be a health safety manager who must ensure the availability of face masks, soaps, alcohol, or hand sanitizers containing at least 60% ethanol.
May seminar ako.
Medicines for flu, common colds, and sore throat. Tissues or disposable wipes and waste bins with a plastic bag for proper disposal and minimum waste to be in contact. Other measures may include installation of foot baths at the entrance of the building, or managements may opt to put up disinfection tents close to the office for head-to-toe disinfection. All this and more are being done in a bid to keep the COVID-19 virus. We are in the service industry. The new normal calls for highly professionalized services in the service industry. One of the best lessons of the modern day pandemic, the call for new normal, is for everyone to be more hygienic and therefore to take the health and well-being and value for money of the customers. This is exactly what it means to have our industry professionalized. Today is the best time to invest on quality education. Let's follow the global international standard. Let us focus on uplifting the image of TechBook in the Philippines by upgrading and professionalizing our occupations to TechBook professions with prestige and dignity. Let's all rally for globally competitive textbook education aligned with the international standards. Let's improve our schools and training centers. Let's improve our curriculum and adopt modern day practices. Let's align our training and TVET system with that of progressive countries in the like of US, Canada, Australia, Korea, Japan, England, and in many parts of Europe. These countries have high respect and recognition for textbook occupation. Our textbook industry ought to be unique in terms of education and training in Asia. If not the best model, it should be at par with that of progressive countries to be truly globally competitive. After all, Filipinos are regarded to be the best workers in the world. With internationally recognized transcript of records at hand, our skilled professionals are expected to perform and give services better. They would work with pride in the same way that university graduates do. The license gives prestige, respect, high recognition, and protection to our fellow industry practitioners and our clients. Professionalized workers make a strong nation. It would eventually erase the image that textbook is baduy and low-class occupation. Professionalized textbook would be a moral booster for textbook graduates who through the years have always been considered second-class citizens in the country's workforce. The credential as an expert practitioner will definitely place him or her on the professional ladder. Let us make every opportunity to make our citizens professional because they would eventually boost the economy of our country. Private TBIs, it is our job to ensure that every graduate is qualified and professional, equipped with practical training, backed up with professional credentials. This would be our generation's legacy, which we shall pass on to the next generation. Thank you. Keep safe and healthy always.
Thank you very much, Sir Tony. That was a very inspiring message to all of us. That in the midst of the pandemic, we should not be, we should not be, we should not be derailed from our focus and from our roles as textbook educators. Of also not only educating our students, but also making sure that we uplift the status of textbook education and our graduates, not only in the country, but also in the world. Thank you very much, Sir Tony. That was a very inspiring message for all of us. So we now proceed with our national meeting. We are very lucky that we have several speakers with us this afternoon. If I may mention, we have 4 speakers. We have for our first speaker, we have Dr. Neil Silva, the NCR representative to the RTESTC on education and training. And he will talk on the preparation for online TVET classes under IATF and TESDA guidelines on the new normal Bayanihan Act. After him, we also have Ms. Sorna Castillo, the TESDA new on the TESDA new normal online training course compliance requirements. She is the director and owner of FTTC. We also have with us later on Honorable Vladimir D. Cayabas, Board of Director of NIIT Philippines and Councilor of Baguio City, on creating a new normal social media culture in the TVET industry. And we have Sir AJ Avalos, the President and CEO of Institute Central Asia, on business insight during the COVID-19 crisis. For our moderators, we have Dr. Pat Dalmas, our board member for the Academy of the TESDA board, and Sir Efren Daniel De Leon, the President and CEO of World Resources Institute here in the Bicol region, and is the chairman of the RTESTC of the Bicol region. We will also have some speaker later on who will speak to us about LMS. She represents the LMS provider Frame Media company. It is a Filipino company that has been in operation for 10 years. They provide LMS. So we will have her a little later after all our speakers. Yours truly, I am your host, the Zoom host. I'm Attorney Pichi Moraleda. I am the Corporate Secretary of TEPSAPhil and the President of the University of Northeastern Philippines in Iriga City. Baka narinig nyo, interestingly, na-involve, parang na-mention yung school ko, nagkaroon po ng isang congressional hearing nung nakaraan, na-involve yung school ko. Pero ito po ay sa political exercise lamang. So, ayoko nang masyadong i-discuss yun. But anyway, this afternoon, we will have a very enriching afternoon. I hope you stay with us until, I think, 4:30 in the afternoon. And may I now call our first speaker, Dr. Neil Silva.
Sandali lang, Attorney Pichi.
Yes, Ma'am Pat.
For a while, I'm raising my hand.
Yes, Ma'am Pat. Yes.
Can we welcome also Ms. Raquel? Raquel Bracero.
Yes. Oh yes, I'm sorry.
The name that I
failed
gave
to mention her.
Yes.
I would also like to acknowledge Ma'am Raquel Bracero from the PASE, Philippine Association of Industries. Am I correct, Ma'am Pat?
Philippine Association of Service Exporters Inc.
Yes,
Incorporated.
Incorporated. So we will also
Thank you very much.
We will maybe later, ma'am, after the speakers, we can also have a dialogue with you, ma'am, with regards to the needs of the service export industry from the tech book education industry. Thank you, ma'am, for your presence. Okay, Dr. Silva.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you to all the participants. Thank you to my Board of Trustees in TEPSAPhil, our Chairman, Ma'am Pat, our President, Sir Tony, and of course, yung mga kasama ko sa Board of Trustees, and yung ating hundreds of participants all over Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. So my topic is about the preparation. So in the screen is my short profile, and para at least makilala nyo ako that I'm a former security guard, rose from the rank, at ako po ay nag-aral until, of course, nakatapos ng masteral and doctoral. And now, currently, the college administrator of Parañaque City College, and of course, handling also position in some organization. So, kahit na medyo maiksi yung time na nalaman ko ako pala isang speaker at napakarami ng aming trabaho sa pag-prepare ng aming eskwelahan. But sabi ko, this is an opportunity to me. Kaya thank you, Ma'am Pat, at mga kasama kong Board of Trustees at binigyan nyo ako ng opportunity para ma-share itong aking masasabi nating kunting kaalaman sa TVET at yung aking pag-prepare. Siguro ako, I will dwell with model ng preparation sa aming school kasi yun yung aming ginagawa since pandemic. Lahat ay preparation para sa opening ng ating klase. So a little background about what happened siguro before the pandemic. Alam nyo, last 2016, that was 4 years ago, at kung naririnig nyo yung mga conferences in the Fourth Industrial Revolution, na darating ang araw na talagang will be after for the technology. Nababanggit na rin 2016 pa that the distant learning will happen in the future, that education will be in the technology also in the future. 2016 pa yon. But yet, hindi natin masyado binigyan ng pansin. Noong 2017, I attended again a conference similar to that. At sinasabi lagi that in the near future, magkakaroon talaga ng distant learning and the technology will play the vital role. Hindi lang sa education but in other sector also. Wala pa rin masyadong pumapansin sa atin. Para bang sinasabi natin, hindi mangyayari yan sa Pilipinas. Ako bilang security practitioners, napoporsi ko na yon. Kaya ako ay mayroon ng mga plans and program for that particular aspect. Then come 2018, 2019, wala rin naman nakapredict na mangyayari itong mangyayari na to sa atin. Although nababalita na natin last year that there are pandemic happening in other part of the world, but in the Philippines, wala naman masyado pa tayong ginagawa. Kaya yung preparation natin talagang hindi pa natin nagawa come 2020. Kahit kami sa school namin, ganun din. Kaya nga last January, we have our prelim exam. Then, nag-start kami ng January ng aming class. And then, in February, we have our prelim exam. Then eventually, March, ito na, nabalitaan na natin that this pandemic is now going to spread all over the world. Wala pa rin tayong talagang preparation. Kaya nung nag-order na ng lockdown during the ECQ, nagulat tayo lahat. Nagulat ang lahat ng sektor. Ano gagawin natin? Anong gagawin natin sa ating mga estudyante? Anong gagawin natin sa ating mga empleyado? Anong gagawin natin sa ating eskwelahan? Ay naka-lockdown tayo during that ECQ. Alam niyo, during that ECQ na tayo naka-lockdown, ang ginawa ko is parang stoplight. I stop, look, and listen in everything that transpired all over the world. And I record everything. I evaluate the situation. And then, after that, sinabi ko, ano kaya ang epekto nitong pandemic sa ating educational institution, especially sa ating mga maliliit na TVETs. So with that, I come up with my business continuity plan. Kasi dapat magkakaroon tayo ng business continuity plan. Na ano bang gagawin natin? Dahil ito na, tinamaan na tayo ng pandemic. So in our school, I come up with a framework. At una kong ginawang framework is yung aming acronym with is PCC. So letter P for the pandemic effect. Tiningnan namin, ano bang epekto ng pandemic sa aming eskwelahan? And the letter C, what continuity plan we are going to prepare para magpatuloy ang pag-aaral ng aming mga estudyante at tumuloy ang daloy sa eskwelahan. And of course, the last letter C is, of course, yung aming commitment because we have to embrace this new normal. So ang ginawa namin in that preparation stage, we come up with the 2 years OPLAN or operational plan na tinawag namin OPLAN ACAP. ACAP is the acronym because ang keywords is embracing the new normal. So sa Tagalog, ACAP. But ACAP means assessment for letter A. Letter K is for knowledge. Another letter A is for assistant to our student and to our employees. And letter P, of course, is the physical infrastructures we are going to prepare so that we can attend to the needs of the flexible and blended learning. So that preparation stage after the second semester, because nagtapos ang aming semester last May 31. Exactly at the start of June 1, we prepare for our first semester. Lahat ng aming empleyado, lahat ng aking mga teachers, yun ang aming focus, preparations of learning management system, preparations of learning materials, and training dito, training doon, para of course, magkaroon ng sinasabi nating adaption to the new normal. Ang malaking challenges kasi dito, dahil nga mayroong karoon tayo ng new normal, additional in terms of investment sa mga schools. Because we're going to adapt and of course, we're going to buy or purchase other materials that will adapt to the new normal. Alam naman natin that during the pandemic, maraming school wala talagang kita. Maraming school nagre-renta lang ng kanilang mga inuupahang classrooms. So ano ngayon ang mangyayari sa mga eskwelahan na to? Given na bago sila magsimula, kailangan mayroon pang mga additional expenses or investment. Alam nyo, dahil ako ay local government, maswerte kami siguro sa Parañaque. Masasabi ko sa Parañaque because our local government, our Mayor Edwin Olivares, is very supportive to the education of our constituent. That's why last Thursday during our board meeting, nung lilahad ko sa kanya ang pangyayari ng aming paghahanda at ang aming mga rekomendasyon, walang kaduda-duda na tinanggap ng aming Board of Trustees sa pangunguna ng aming Mayor Edwin Olivares, na kailangan i-adapt ang aming mga rekomendasyon dahil sabi ng aming Mayor, hindi pwedeng matigil ang pag-aaral ng mga kabataan sa Parañaque. Because education, of course, ay ma-prime mover for economic activity. So ano mga challenges ngayon ng ating hinaharap, lalo na sa ating mga eskwelahan? Hindi lang yung mga may-ari ng eskwelahan, pati yung mga trainer, pati yung ating mga administrator. Nagkanda kami ng survey kaagad. Right after the second semester, nagkanda kami ng survey kaagad. Ano ba ang pangangailangan ng aming mga estudyante? Ano ba kalagayan ng aming mga empleyado at ng aming mga professors? At ano ang kanilang mga pangangailangan? At lumabas sa aming research that majority of our students ay walang connectivity sa bahay. Walang gadget na magagamit. Nairaos ang second semester na cellphone lang o data lang. Halos nagpapanik during the time because halos hindi nila magkampanan ang mga ginagawa nila para ma-survive ang second semester na. Lumabas din sa aming survey ng aming mga empleyado ay wala rin connectivity sa bahay. Ang aming mga professor ay halos wala rin connectivity sa bahay at halos wala rin magagamit na laptop para sa kanilang pagtuturo. Yan ang aming naging gabay para kami ay makagawa ng magandang business continuity plan at isusulong namin at aming pinauprahan sa aming local government at sa aming Board of Trustees. At tinawag namin yon yung aming ginawang transition plan, the Green Book. At doon na paloob lahat ang gagawin namin simula sa Agosto hanggang sa mga susunod na taon. Ibig sabihin, ang lahat ng gagawa na namin sa operasyon ng aming eskwelahan ay napapaloob na sa Green Book. Napakabilis namin nagawa sa isang buwan lang. Dahil ang ginawa ko ay nagkaroon ako ng clusters among the department. Dinivide ko ng 5 clusters ang buong departamento ng Parañaque City College at binigyan ko ng kanyang-kanyang task upang i-craft itong business continuity plan. At ang aming deadline ay July. Yes,
Dr. Neil?
Excuse me, Dr.
Excuse
Yes,
me, Dr. Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Neil, paki-move mo yung ano mo, yung PowerPoint mo.
Yes,
Paki-move
ma'am.
mo yung PowerPoint mo, yung slide mo. Kasi nasa introduction ka pa rin. Maybe you can move your
Yes, ma'am.
slide to the topic that you
Ito
are
pa kasi ako, ma'am,
discussing
sa challenges. Sa
Oo.
challenges.
now.
Ay,
Please.
sir, baka pwedeng ano yun, yung naka-presentation mode. Presentation mode, ito po.
Yeah, Kat. Sorry. Okay.
Okay po.
Oo. Yeah. Nakalagay pa rin siya doon. Okay, sige.
Actually, ma'am, nasa
Thank you,
challenges pa
Attorney
lang ako.
Pichi.
Yun, okay na po.
Nasa challenges pa lang ako, ma'am.
Okay.
Yan, that's it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So,
Alisin yung
ito
introduction.
ang ginawa namin. Ibig sabihin, kami po ay mayroon ng
Okay.
nakahandang business continuity plan. At siguro yun din ang gusto kong i-share sa mga administrators at mga kasama natin. Dapat talagang mayroon tayong business continuity plan. Kung hindi, tayo ay talagang pupulutin sa kangkungan dahil wala tayong matibay na pagsusundan kung anong gagawin natin sa mga susunod na araw. So with that, nakita nyo naman siguro kung kayo nakatan ng mga seminars ng TESDA and other organization, na ang TESDA po ay nagbigay ng kanilang circular para na susundan natin kung paano natin i-implement yung sinasabing flexible learning in TVET. At dito na papaloob sa circular number 62, series of 2020, yung mga alituntunin na dapat susundan ng eskwelahan. At dito sinasabi Dahil nga bawal pa yung face-to-face, kailangan natin magkaroon ng online learning. Andyan din sa circular na yon sinasabi, yung mga requirements para ma-register natin yung ating program, para mas mailipat natin sa traditional na ginagawa natin. Ngayon ay dapat in compliance with the new normal or the flexible learn or blended program. So nandyan yung digital learning content ng ating mga syllables at yung ating mga competencies curriculum para mapigyan natin ng kaukulang pansin kung ano ang dapat natin gawin. So itong learning management system, ito yung mga libreng makukuha natin. Kaya sa aming eskwelahan, ang aming pinagtuunan ng pansin is the Edmodo. Sa Edmodo, lahat ng teachers namin ay nag-training ng Edmodo. Dahil sa ngayon, dahil hindi nga napaghandaan, wala pa kaming budget para sa learning management system, we resort muna into a free LMS, which is Edmodo. At ito naman ay napakaganda at lahat ng ating empleyado, actually hindi lang teachers ang ating tinraining sa Edmodo. Pati yung ating non-teaching personnel, pati yung aking watchman, basta may connectivity, pati yung aking housekeeping, basta mayroon silang connectivity, sinali ko na rin sa training. At least, alam nila, ito ang ginagawa ng aming eskwelahan at aming paghahanda ng aming eskwelahan. So what are the parameters pa rin? Blended and learning delivery mode ang sinasabi natin. Pag sinabi natin blended and flexible, of course, yung dating traditional, ngayon ay dadagdagan na natin ng ating ibang pamamaraan, which is mayroon ng, of course, distance learning. Ang kagandahan nito, dapat ay baguhin natin yung ating curriculum at ilalagay doon sa curriculum na yan na dapat ito na yung pamamaraan ng ating pagbigay ng training. Again, sa distant learning, actually, sa ibang bansa, matagal na ginagawa itong distant learning. Sa atin, parang hindi tayo lagi sanay pag sinabing distant learning. Even nga, maririnig natin, paano ba yan? Ano ba yung mga challenges na, at mga problema na ating kaharapan pagdating sa distant learning? Actually, kung ito na may pagtulong-tulungan, ito ay mangyayari pa rin. Kaya sa amin din, ang aming paghahanda is online and offline. Dalawa ang aming paghahanda. Although we have Edmodo na gagamitin namin for the online, meron pa rin kaming backup na dapat kami gagawa ng mga printed modules para doon sa mga kabataan na wala talagang connectivity at yan ay i-deliver namin sa kanila ay yung aming printed modules. At yan naman ay alinsunod din, I think. Yan ay gagawin din ng ibang mga universities, gagawin din ng TVET dahil hindi lahat ay maaabot ng ating connectivity. And given the fact that yung ating connectivity talaga hindi pa stable dito sa Pilipinas. So yun yung mga parameters na sinabi ng ating TESDA doon sa kanilang circular. At napapaloob dyan, ano bang dapat i-prepare ng mga training centers or mga eskwelahan? So kung wala pa tayo dating infrastructures into a learning management system, we have to upgrade our ICT infrastructures. So then, sinasabi ko nga kanina, ito ay investment. Hindi birong investment ito. Ngayon, kung wala ka tayong estudyante, dahil maliit natin ang ating eskwelahan, paano kaya tayo magkakaroon ng upgraded infrastructures? At wala pa tayong training since March up to now. At hindi kumikita yung ating mga maliliit na PBIs, paano kaya? Paano kaya ang gagawin nito? Sa amin kasi, mabuti at mayroon kaming in-identified na budget namin na pwede namin i-realign at pwedeng susuporta dito. Then we have to develop also the CBC. Kaya nga sa atin, nasasanay kasi tayo sa traditional. Alam mo kung yung ating lahat ng mga trainer ay very familiar lang with the CBT approach, ay sana napakadali ng ating pag-produce o pag-develop o pag-introduce ng ating lesson. Lalo na itong TVET, dapat talaga CBT. But sometimes most of our trainers ay traditional pa rin. No? Maraming pakopya sa blackboard, maraming lecture. Wherein in CBT, hindi ganun, supposed to be, ang procedures. Dapat hinahayaan natin ang bata ay matuto doon sa mga lesson na binibigay natin at itong mga instructional materials. So number 3, dapat i-develop na natin. Hindi lang yung hard copy, but lahat you have a soft copy para malagay doon sa learning management system. Para maka-access yung bata pag siya ay mayroong internet connection. And yung number 4, ito ay medyo madugo pagdating sa budget. So sabi ko nga, hindi talaga pa ito magagawa ng ibang maliliit na eskwelahan. Kaya yung aking mga kaibigan na provider ng LMS, sinasabi sa akin, mayroon ka ba kilalang eskwelahan na pwede naming opera ng LMS? Sabi ko, mayroon dyan, of course, but yung iba, hindi pa talaga kaya at this time. So sa number 5, we have to also facilitate or capacitate the trainer for flexible learning. So ito ginagawa ng TESDA. Kaya mayroon tayong multiplier ngayon na nagtitraining para tuturuan sila on how to operate yung e-facilitate of learning. Ako nga siguro sa mga susunod na linggo ako ay mapapasabak na dito. Narinig ko nga sa mga nauna na medyo madugo doon training nito. Ako naman ay nakahanda na rin dahil gusto ko rin madaanan itong trainer into flexible learning. At yung number 6 is to develop our trainer and student support system. Mabigat ito sa mga private sector kasi it entails budget. Kaya nung ako pinesent ko sa aming Board of Trustees at kay Mayor, Sir, ito ang kailangan ng ating estudyante. We have to issue tablet to them para maging successful ang ating flexible learning. Kasi kung cellphone lang ang hawak ng estudyante, hindi talaga makaka-access sa aming lesson. So, at ang ating mga instructor, kailangan natin i-issuehan ng laptop para maging successful. So, it's a matter of hinahanapan na lang namin na budget, but in principle, approved na ng aming Board of Trustees. And number 7, we have to submit our program for registration. Kasi gusto makita ng TESDA if we are ready really to offer flexible and blended program at yung ating bang learning materials at yung ating facility ay talaga ready na to offer yung mga sinasabi nating TESDA program. So ito yung, at hindi ko na i-discuss ito ng dahil alam ko ito ay sa isang speaker natin. I think siya mag-discuss nito. Papakita ko lang sa inyo that ito yung mga sinasabi ng TESDA. Dapat i-comply natin yung training plan kasi gusto rin nila makita, may plano ba talaga ang TVIs para mag-impose or mag-offer nitong program. Ito yung mga dapat na i-comply. Ay, bigyan ko ng konting diin yung competency-based curriculum. Ito ay napakaganda. Kanina na-mention ng ating presidente, Sir Tony, dapat we have to adapt with other countries also in the international line. Of course, US, Canada, and Australia. Yes. Actually, yung TVET nila doon sa mga bansa na yan ay napakaganda. They are just, of course, utilizing the competency-based training. Bakit ko nalaman ito? Dahil yung ating pong dissertation sa ating doctoral ay about CBT and training. At yan ay ating pinag-aralan ay kung paano ma-improve ng mga security guards dito sa Pilipinas using the TESDA curriculum yung kanilang performance. And eventually, it will yield, of course, to the success of all the businesses. So napakaganda ng CBT pag atin ay gagamitin. At sinasabi ng CBT framework that we have to, to train our guards in terms of skills, knowledge, and attitude. Kaya matatawag lang natin na competent or competency if yung tatlo na yan ay na-acquire ng isang trainers. Kaya dapat ang ating mga trainer ay also knowledgeable in terms of the CBT approach. And for that framework na pinakita sa TESDA, kung nakita nyo itong naka-red or naka-maroon, ito yung dapat nating bigyan ng pansin. The competency-based curriculum development na dapat naka-attune sa blended and flexible program, yung ating CBC. Then the learning materials and courseware development. Dapat mayroon talaga tayong courseware development. And the training delivery na dapat yung ating mga alam na kung paano i-deliver itong knowledge, skills, and attitude aspect. And the last one is paano natin gagawin yung assessment considering na walang face-to-face na ngayon na nangyayari. So yun yung mga challenges na dapat natin bigyan ng pansin yung apat na yan. And sabi nga natin, kailan ba mag-uumpisa ang training sa Pilipinas? Nakita ko ito sa TESDA website. Ang sinasabi ng TESDA, last June 24, the TESDA gets the note to resume training. Yon sa sinasabi ng ating IATF. So, mayroon na sabi ko signal, but yet, karamihan ng ating TBIs ay hindi pa ready to resume training because wala pang compliance halos doon sa sinasaad ng TESDA circulars in terms of preparation. Yung kanilang trainer, yung kanilang facilities, at maybe yung kanilang mga learning materials. Aminin ko sa amin ay ginagawa na rin namin ngayon yan at halos patapos na kami sa aming preparation for this particular learning materials. So with that, sabi ng aking kapangalan, ang aking idol na Nelson Mandela, education is the most powerful weapon in which you can change the world.
I
The
know.
power of education extends behind the skills we need for the economic success, and it contributes to the building and reconciliations. Totoo yun. Lahat nitong ginagawa natin ay geared toward nation building. Kaya kung ikaw ay trainer, ikaw ay may-ari ng eskwelahan, napakalaki ng ating ginagampanan sa ating lipunan. At inyong pagsali ngayon sa webinar ng Tapes Apel, ang sabi ng aking kapangalan, you will never lose. It's either you win or learn. Thank you very much sa inyo. Kung kayo ay nabitin sa aking presentation dahil kailangan ko lang iksian, mayroon po akong mobile, mayroon na po akong email, at katatapos lang ng aking website. Pwede niyong puntahan, silvanos.com. Thank you and good afternoon.
Galing. Thank you very much. Ang galing ng kaibigan kong Dr. Nel.
Manalang sa'yo, sir.
Congrats, Doc.
So,
Okay na ako sa question and answer, sir, if you have.
Tebs affiliate.
oo, talagang pang-commander yung picture ni Dr. Nel.
Yeah, laging handa, sir. Call of
Laging
duty.
handa. Oo. Attorney Piche as our host, ano pang programa natin? Pwede bang isulat muna natin lahat ng mga questions? Patapusin muna natin lahat ng speakers before we go into question and answer, o pwede na ba tayo magtanong after every speaker para wag naman makalimutan? So what is the pleasure? Can I get some guideline from the chairperson?
Opo,
The empat, pwede na ba tayo magtanong para hindi makalimutan? O tapusin muna natin lahat ng speakers.
siguro po,
ang
we can entertain maybe 2 or 3 questions before we go to Ma'am Sorna Castillo.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
sir. Okay, sir. Okay, ma'am. Ready na po ako.
okay.
Kung mga
So,
may tanong po, pwede you can raise your hand, you can unmute yourself and continue to ask questions po.
Ayan, si BM
Yeah.
Pat. Si BM Pat.
Okay. Can I go ahead? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Congratulations, Dr. Neil Silva. Saludo
Thank you,
ako sa
ma'am.
iyo. Mukhang senior ka sa akin, Lieutenant Colonel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Commodore po yan. Commodore.
I'm also
Commodore yan, ma'am.
Lieutenant.
Stop diving.
I'm also Lieutenant Colonel Nurse Corps. Yeah. Anyway, you will notice I asked our president last time before he finished crafting the invite, kasi nakalagay doon general membership meeting. And then sabi ko, mukhang lagyan natin ng theme, because merong isa sa mga speakers na nagtanong ano ang theme natin. So, o nga naman. And then I realized tayo parang the TEBSAPIL members, officers and members, and the BOT, para tayong we've been together and supporting each other. And then I looked into my research in the UNESCO. Nakalagay doon sa UNESCO, talagang pumasok itong ating TEBSAPIL, yung ating advocacy. That's why I was able to craft the term TVET, peer support in response to this pandemic. Nakita mo yung it's like a triad nung fighting the pandemic, di ba? We have to wear masks, we have to clean our hands or hygiene and distance. So yung triad na yan. So parang ganun din tayo, no? And I'll go back to the topic of Dr. Silva. You mentioned about the Industrial Revolution. I'd like to remind everyone that it is TEBSAPIL through our TVET Congress in 2019 November that we spearheaded the Industrial Revolution. If you remember, it was in may booklet tayo, nakalagay doon, distant learning, na kailangan we have to prepare now. Kaya napaka-importante nung TVET Congress na yon, because napapaloob doon, you read that booklet that we have. I authored that with the help of my daughter, who was, a millennial, who is really very keen in this endeavor. So nakalagay talaga doon, there was this research of mine na sinabi ko yung there will come a time in the very near future. So hindi mo akalain,
Yes,
after
ma'am.
2019, ilang buwan lang. Ilang buwan lang. So tama yung analysis mo, Dr. Silva. In the distant learning, siguro nabasa mo yan, hindi mo lang
Yes, ma'am.
mag-grasp kung saan, di ba?
Yes,
In
ma'am.
the very near future, nakalagay doon that we will be using all this technology. And see, it's here. It's Eureka, nandito na siya. But we are not prepared. Ang sabi doon sa ating Industrial Revolution Congress, we have to start preparing. And then again, I
Yes.
go back to my research. UNESCO and the World Health Organization, the World Health was already preparing it going back to 2008. And then again, tiningnan ko, kailan ba tayo na huling nag-tackle nito? Parang palaging nandoon itong online learning. Do you know that we have virtual university? Di ba meron ng UP niyan?
Yes, ma'am.
Kaya lang binabaliwala natin. We have this virtual university. Oo, in 2008, 10 years ago, almost more than 10 years ago. But we do not care about that. Now, eto na siya. In fact, the IATF, the interagency of our government, allowed the test to open. But are we prepared? And so, with us, TVET peer support, as private practitioners in this endeavor, magtulungan tayo. Kaya nga, sabi ko, modesty aside, TVET, TEBSAPIL actually has been there. Nauna na tayo, nakagawa tayo, documented, our Industrial Revolution Congress. Nauna na tayo. So, pagsikapan natin gawin ito upang makatulong tayo sa ating mga school honors. So, congratulations again, Dr. Silva. It's not
Thank you,
actually a
ma'am.
question, but enforcing so much of your report. Thank you, Attorney Pichi. Thank you very much for the time.
Opo. Yes, Ma'am Pat. Sir Neil, Dr.
Yes,
Neil,
ma'am.
ako po may question.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, ang ganda po ng presentation mo, and isa pong na-meet din po namin yung sabi mo ay mga challenges, yung it's the same across the board po in the entire Philippines, yung mga
Yes.
sinabi mo po, yung mga challenges natin. Interesado po ako doon sa paano nyo planong i-address kung hindi pa na-i-implement. Lahat naman po tayo nasa planning / slightly
Yes, ma'am.
implementing. Wala pa talagang full implementation na pwede
Yes,
natin
ma'am.
masabing na evaluate na natin lahat. Pero paano nyo po na overcome or inimit yung challenge ng doon po sa faculty? Kasi given na yun na yung mga estudyante mahina ang connectivity, yung iba may laptop nga, mahina naman yung internet, or may internet naman, wala namang gadget. Pero po yung sa faculty, with regards po doon sa connectivity nila and sa kanilang training, medyo interesado po ako doon dahil isa po yan talaga sa ngayon, almost everybody nagte-training na po ngayon. Gusto ko pong malaman yung paano po ninyo with regards to Parañaque City Colleges, ano po yung ginawa yung mga steps with regards to the challenges sa faculty po?
Thank you, ma'am. Actually, nung second semester namin, sabi ko nga, hindi talaga namin napaghandaan. But I remember 2 days before the lockdown, miniting ko na yung mga faculty ko. Sabi ko, maghanda tayo. Mukhang hindi na nga tayo makakabalik sa eskwelahan agad-agad. Dahil itong direction nito, parang nakikita ko na. Direction. Kasi a week before that lockdown, puro na ako research sa CNN, puro na ako panunood ng mga balita. At sinabi ko na sa mga professor namin, maghanda tayo. Although of course, talaga logistic-wise or yung mga resources-wise, talaga halos wala. But kami kasi sa Parañaque City College, meron kaming parang siguro pa sabi namin trademark na sasabihin namin, regardless of everything, kahit na anumang kakulangan, gawin natin ang nararapat at i-deliver natin yung quality education sa kabataan. Kaya sabi ko sa kanila, nung kami naka-lockdown na, please, gawin natin yung tama. At all costs, text, GC, Facebook, email, lahat. Gawin natin lahat. Gawin natin lahat yan. Kalinsunod sa circular ng CHED, sinusundan namin yan sa mga advisory ng CHED, course advisory din ng ating national and local government. Of course, makikita mo po yung mga feedback ng estudyante, dumadating din sa akin. Sir, naka-lockdown kami. Sir, hindi kami pwede lumabas. Sir, wala kaming pagkain dito. Hindi kami pwede bumili ng load. Sir, submitting na naman sa mga faculty. Oh, ito yung feedback ng ating mga customer. Adjust tayo, adjust. Adjust tayo ng ating mga delivery. Huwag natin pahirapan yung ating mga estudyante. Alam nyo, ang priority ngayon ng mga estudyante natin is, of course, yung pagkain at yung kanilang safety. Medyo luwagan natin ng konti. Other schools, nag-declare na nga, mass promotion. Bakit? At hindi kami po sumunod doon sa mass promotion. Kasi sinabi namin, kaya naman namin tatapusin ito na hindi namin susundin yung mass promotion. Mas gusto pa rin namin yung numerical value ng grade. Kaya kinausap ko rin yung mga estudyante, luluwag kami, at then magkakaroon kami ng, of course, ng konting adjustment, but susunod tayo kasi pangit nang sasabihin natin, pumasa lang kayo dahil kay COVID. Hindi po pwede yun. Dapat pumasa tayo because mayroon tayong ginawang mga hakbang at mayroon tayong compliance para at least yung ating quality education ay nandun pa rin. Lalo na yung mga board courses. Hindi po pwedeng ganun. That due to pandemic ay pumasa lang. Although, yung amin naman kasi nasa first year pa lang yung aming kolehiyo. Kaya sabi ko naman sa aking mga professors, Gen Ed subjects pa lang to. At mostly, nakuha na rin nila yan sa senior high. Magdahan-dahan na tayo. Huwag na natin masyadong pahirapan. But of course, tingnan natin kung ano rin yung mga tutulong natin. Kaya yung mga professor namin, hindi lang professor, guidance counselor pa. Kasi gina-guidance nila yung kanilang mga hawak na estudyante para hindi mag-panic during that pandemic. At alam nyo, hindi lang yon ang aming ginawa. Out of us, kami, mga professors, pag mayroon kami kasamang nagkakasakit, hindi na namin inaasa yun kanino. Nagtutulong-tulong kami, nagpipitsin-pitsin kami. Sige, nasa hospital yung kasama natin, 500, 1,000, para mabigyan natin ng tulong yung ating mga kasama. So doon namin nakita yung unity, yung aming bayanihan. At ganon din yung frontliners namin na naka-duty sa school ay hindi namin pinabayaan. 3 buwan namin silang inalagaan sa pagkain, sa support, sabon. Kasi alam namin na sila ay problemado na yung pamilya nila ay naiwanan. So sinuportahan namin. Although may support yung local government, but in our own, gumawa pa rin kami ng support sa kanila. Actually, yung mga frontliners namin ngayon, nandiyan, nakatutok sa atin. Dahil pina-attend ko rin sila. No? At gusto ko ipaalam sa inyo that yung aming eskwelahan kasi ay ginagamit na health facilities. But yet, hindi yun naging hadlang sa amin para hindi kami makagalaw sa aming preparation. Kaya sinabi ko sa aming mayor, napakahirap talaga gumalaw, sir. Kasi kanya-kanya kaming bahay. Hindi kami sa isang opisina. But ginawa namin lahat. Sabi ko nga sa mga kasama ko, napakahirap pala ng work from home. Hindi pwedeng mag-leave, hindi pwedeng umabsent. And every Saturdays, Sundays ay nagtatrabaho tayo. But ang titingnan, sabi ko, titingnan natin, huwag yung ganon, mahirap. Balik na rin natin in the positive mode. Ano naman ang maganda ngayong ginawa ng work from home sa atin? Diba? Kahit umatin tayo ng webinar, tayo ay naglalaba. Kahit tayo umatin ng webinar, tayo ay nagluluto. At hindi na tayo nagbibihi. Basta yung pakitaas, okay na. Iba bahala na. At hindi na tayo natatraffic. Hindi lang tayo natatraffic. So yun naman titignan natin. Huwag yung in the negative side, but of course the opportunity in the positive side. Yan, ma'am.
Ayan, sige. May tatanong pa. Sige po, Sir Dan. Ikaw na muna.
Okay. Unang-una, Commodore Nel, hindi ko alam na naglalaba ka pala at nagluluto habang nag-webinar. Okay, number 2, ito po more on comments. Masaya po ako at narinig namin yung mga senior mo, anong ginagawa on the ground ng isang HAI at TVIs para makausad tayo at mag-move on. Kaya
Yes, sir.
nababasa ko po dito sa chat box, ang dami nagpapasalamat sa iyo for sharing. Kaya maraming
Thank you.
salamat, Nel, for sharing. Number 2,
Kasi sir, nag-offer din kami ng TVET, hindi lang child program.
yon, o nga.
6 years na kami
Number
nag-offer
2,
ng TVET. Ano naman TVET object, ano talaga, advocate.
yes.
Ang puso ko talaga ay sa TVET. Kaya nga
Okay.
pinapalakas ko sa PCC yung aming TVET. Kaya sinabi ko kay Mayor, sir, gastusan natin itong culinary. Marami tayong matutulunan. Gastusan pa natin yung mga laboratory kasi ito yung livelihood generating. Yung
Tama.
4 years course natin, 4 years pa yan bago natin mapakinabangan. Pero itong
Tama.
TESDA, 6 months, marami ng
Oo.
trabaho ma-generate sa Parañaque.
Yes,
Oo,
tama.
so,
Tama. O,
Kaya nakikinig naman yung aking mga councilors at yung aking board of trustees, aking recommendations.
Oo. Ang another point po na nababasa ko dito sa chat box, ito pong ginagawa ngayon ng TEBSAPIL, sinishare namin yung mga maliliit na kontribusyon ng mga members natin kung anong ginagawa nila na pwedeng pamarisan o gawing ehemplo gayahin ng ibang mga TBIs ng mga members natin. Sa paraang ito po, at least nagiging very positive tayo at hopeful. Kasi ayoko na, tulad tama yung sabi mo, Dr. Nel, ayoko na pag-usapan yung lahat ng problema. Pag pinag-uusapan niyo yung lahat ng problema, lalo tayong lahat nanghihina. Ang kailangan talaga, kaya tayo nagkakaroon nitong webinar nito, ang pag-uusapan natin, solusyon sa problema. Hindi yung problema ng problema. Kasi walang mangyayari kung problema lang ng problema. Kailangan solusyon.
Yes, sir.
Kaya yung mga senior mo, Dr. Nel, ito nga, ang nag-comment, yung kaibigan ko, yung may-ari at presidente ng isang napakalaking paaralan dito sa Bicol. Meron siyang school sa Camarines Sur, meron dito sa Albay. Tuwan-tuwa siya kasi sabi niya, ganito pala ang dapat kong dadaanan. Marami po kaming natututunan dito sa ginagawa nyo. Kasi yung sinasabi nyo ay hindi nyo lang sinasabi, dinaanan mo na. Kaya ang
Yes, sir.
mas maniniwala kami kasi dinaanan mo na. Iba yung binasa lang o sinasabi lang. Kaya sa ganito sigurong paraan, I am appealing doon sa mga members ng TEBSAPIL na i-share po natin yung mga on the ground actual practical experiences natin na pwedeng pamarisan at maaaring gayahin ng ibang mga TBIs na talagang hirap na po ngayon. Panahon na ito, lalo na yung private, wala po yung mga kapital na, ubus na. Walang income, lahat gastos. Kaya talaga kailangan yun ang kailangan tulungan natin. Ngayon, may sinambit kanina, my last comment, may sinambit kanina, ano ba yung theme talaga nitong webinar natin? Na pagkasundoan po ito ng board, ito po yung theme natin. Making TEBSAPIL relevant and responsive to TVET and our members.
Yes.
Ito pong webinar na ito, ano po ang maitutulong nito sa ating mga members sa paraan na maisi-share natin yung mga experiences natin on the ground, actual and practical. So palagi ko yung po munang comment ko para we can proceed with the other 3 speakers. Salamat po. Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat.
So now we can now proceed. May I?
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you po, Sir Dr. Silva. Pero stay po kayo, Dr. Silva, kasi
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
we will be open for more questions later on. So may we now call on Ma'am Miss Sorna Castillo, the director and owner of FIPC, who will share with us the topic TESDA New Normal Online Training Course Compliance. Thank you, Ma'am Sorna.
Good afternoon, Attorney Peachy.
Good afternoon po, ma'am. Sige po, good afternoon po.
A pleasant afternoon to everyone. Allow me to present. I am Sorna Felices Castillo, the School President of Felices Technological Training Center, Catbalogan, Samar. I am also a member of TEBSAPIL and TESDA Idol. regional winner 2019 for self category. We start with, here's my slideshow, my presentation.
Ma'am, you can share screen na po.
Okay.
Ma'am, i-full screen mo lang, ma'am, tapos i-start presentation.
Okay.
Okay na, ma'am.
The compliance with the new normal and training requirements and regulation. The basis is anchored on TESDA Circular number 62 Series 2020, the guidelines in implementing flexible learning in TVET, and TESDA Circular 066-A, guidelines on the TVET arrangement toward the new normal, toward the new normal. A successful business require simple thing, passion. It is a passion, everything you do, it comes from the heart. When you have a passion during the planning, there are a series of carefully planned activities, and of course, there are always failure. However, when you get up from the failure, it's the most important attitude in pursuing the succeeding activities and down during the process toward the achievements of success. In a simplified form, the new normal requirements for training regulation under TESDA circular were materialized or implemented with our institution, Felices Technological Training Center. Before that, here are my, in the implementation of technical vocational training TVET, flexible learning delivery, this is to address the COVID-19 pandemic problem. So in response to the challenges, it is wise move to adopt the flexible learning delivery in TVET program. Here are the parameters in implementing the flexible learning delivery. The online delivery mode. Next, the blended delivery mode. And the distance learning. I have also prepared customized learning materials for the delivery mode. In distance learning, FTTC is prepared for face-to-face and distance learning because here in Samar, hindi lahat ng mga kabataan ay they provide gadgets or laptop or any for online training. So FTTC is here to help them for the distance learning and the face-to-face learning. Other provision in the guidelines, in the general guidelines, to follow in the flexible learning as follows. Hand sanitation, maintain social distancing, hand washing, classroom distancing, floor mark during the social distancing, practical area social distancing, workplace signages are health advisory, observe social distancing, hand washing, logbook for contact tracing, foot bath, daily reading of temperature. During the inspection and evaluation of TESDA team, we have frontliner is always available. Here's the TESDA team. We have for foot bath, head temperature check, hand sanitizing, logbook for contact tracing, actual inspection in room, social distancing, seat plan, social distancing, learning area, social distancing, actual lecture area, and checking of the learning documents. So with that, those are the basic guidelines in the implementation of new normal training delivery delivery mode. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Sorna. Thank you very much, Ma'am, for sharing your experience. Ma'am, magbe-blended po kayo? Magbe-blended kayo sa ngayong pasukan po?
Yes, Attorney Peachy.
Opo. So, ayan, may tanong po si Ma'am Pam. Ma'am Pam, you can just unmute yourself po.
Congratulations na salamat po sa sharing. Na-mention niyo po, it is indeed a prerequisite already for us to really adapt and embrace the new normal. And we really commend the initiative of TEVSAFIL, especially having speak. Yung tanong ko lang po, kasi di ba po, you have certain programs na meron tayo, before, required talaga tayo ng face-to-face, di ba po? Did upon your application, meron po bang sinabi si TESDA, for example lang, sample lang po, kunyari yung sa caregiver natin, na i-adapt natin, kunyari, si blended learning, for example. Meron po ba silang sinabi na dapat 70% online or 30% face-to-face or no face-to-face at all? May mga ganun po ba? Kasi just giving an insight na rin po in our personal experience, ever since nung wala pa tong COVID na to, kami po sa Stout, kasi emergency medical services kami, ang training namin is for emergency medical technician. Talagang required kami na may online talaga prior to the face-to-face. So 2 months yon na nag-online sila bago sila mag-face-to-face sa amin. Kaya medyo hindi kami ganon nahirapan sa pag-adapt dito. Pero ang paradigm shift namin ngayon, ma'am, is nabaliktad eh. Dati ang face-to-face is 80%. Ngayon, ang online is 20% lang. Ngayon nabaliktad eh dahil dito, and we are requiring them to really have we incorporated the PPE, bukod sa mask, bukod sa face shield and all, talagang full gear kapag talagang, kasi buhay po kasi yung hahawakan nila afterwards, nasa emergency pa kami. Kaya hindi po talaga pwedeng maalis yung skills na assessment ng actual. So may ganun po bang ini-require na sa atin si TESDA, ma'am, na
Actually, si TESDA, wala naman ni required talaga na percent, pero it depends sa training area mo, sa distance. Kailangan talaga ma-maintain natin yung distancing. actually, before that, yung trainees is allowed for 25 trainees. But now, only 50%, maybe 12
Yes,
or
yes, ma'am.
13. So,
Thank you,
because of
ma'am.
the distance.
Opo.
So, I think 50%. 50% ang allowed para sa face-to-face.
Thank you po, Ma'am Sorna.
Si Tito Mark mo tumawag sa akin. Sabihin mo na sa conference ako.
Attorney Pichi, can I come in? May tatanong lang ako.
Opo, sige po, Sir.
Okay. Salamat po kay Ma'am Sorna. As a matter of fact, yung pong mga TVIs rito, no, nakita yung engineer mo sa Tepsafil. Palagay ko sabi namin, gagayahin namin yung mga pictures na ginawa mo. Kasi, ang siguro ma'am, ang importante matutunan namin sa inyo, number one, na-inspect na po kayo ng TESDA, na-experience nyo na po kung ano yung gagawin ng TESDA pag nag-inspect. At ang pangatlo, ang sabi po ninyo doon sa posting ninyo, naghihintay na lang kayo ng approval. So sabihin, dumaan na po kayo doon sa mga requirements. Kaya siguro ma'am, ano po yung mai-share niyo sa amin na nagpe-prepare pa lang, nag-apply pa lang at naghihintay na ma-inspect ng TESDA ngayon? Ano po yung mga dos, mga don'ts, at ano po yung talagang dapat tutukan namin para magaya din namin yung school nyo na nakalusot na doon sa inspection? Ano po yung mga dapat na gawin namin? Pinaka-importante po sa lahat.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Sir Efren. Actually, aside sa health protocols na nakita nyo kanina, kailangan din po na i-ready natin yung documents natin, like UTPRAS. I don't know. UTPRAS. Here. You see? Kung titingnan nyo, makapal, pero tutulungan ko kayo kung paano magiging madali regarding sa documents, sa preparation. So, yung number one na chine-check po dyan ay course design. Okay? So, makikita niyo po yan sa training regulation at sa CBC. Doon po kayo kukuha. Tapos, meron po tayo dapat din po, updated yung atin mga So, i-check niyo po yung mga tools and consumables. Kailangan magbe-base po kayo sa TR. Ako, prepare ko po yung 25. Kung ano po yung nasa TR, sinunod ko lang po. Like, sa mga magbubukas ng program at saka sa mga registered na. Sa mga registered na, dumaan na sila nito. Pero sa mag-open pa lang ng program, ito po yung dadaanan nyo. We have a checklist from, na dyan po nyo susundan lahat ng mga TESDA OPCO-01 F11, like the curricular requirements. Okay? You see, we have course design, module of instruction, the list of equipments, TESDA OP0001 F13, tools, dapat kumpleto. Tapos, consumable materials. Okay? So, yan, kung makikita niyo po, sa mga documents ko, isa-isa po yan, ina-attach ko, hanggang sa na-comply ko ang F21. So, hanggang na-comply ko kasi we have the physical facilities, dapat sumunod tayo sa area, sa sukat according to the TR. Tapos sa mga shop layout, kung ano yung pagka-arrange ng room nyo, ng training room, dapat dun din po magbe-base yung shop layout na isasubmit nyo po sa TESDA. Okay po? Just in case naman na noon na na-approve na kayo at nagkaroon din ng changes sa training room nyo, baguhin nyo rin yung, i-update nyo po yung shop layout. Kung ano yung arrangement nyo ngayon, yun na po yung isasubmit yung shop layout sa TESDA na dapat masunod pa rin kayo sa size ng area according to the training regulation, according to TR. So, yung training regulation, i-download nyo lang po yan, www.trainingregulation. Makikita nyo po yung kung ano pong tool, kung ilang po yung hinihinging tools and equipment, mga instructional, doon tayo magbe-base. At saka dapat din po updated yung mga trainers natin, dapat may NTTC sila. Naka-attach din po yan. Tapos yung contract of employment nila, naka-attach din po yan. Yun. Yes, Sir
Okay, Ma'am
Efren.
Sorna, meron po, may question po dito. Okay, so we will entertain this question and then Ma'am Elma is also raising her hand and Ma'am Pat. So after them, we will proceed with the next speaker. So ang tanong po ni Professor Jason Cabat.
Attorney Pichi can...
Ano po ang... Opo, I will entertain the question muna po, Ma'am. So Ma'am, ano-ano ang mga programs nyo na in-apply for recognitions of flexible training? Yun ang tanong po ni Ma'am Sorna ni Professor Cabatuan.
Yes, as of now, I applied bookkeeping NC3. Yun ang okay na. At yung Hilot Wellness, pinag-uusapan pa, wala pa namang decision sila kung pwede ko na bang i-process. But until now, umaasa ako na sana ma-open ko yung Hilot, pero dahil sa may body contact, hindi ako ina-allowed para mag-process. Pero I do respect whatever test the decision.
Opo, okay. Nag-raise ng hand po si Ma'am Elma Ayop. Ma'am Elma, you can unmute yourself, Ma'am. And Ma'am Sorna, you can already stop screen sharing para po mag-gallery shot ulit po tayo. Ay, gallery layout. Apo, Ma'am Elma Ayop. Sandali lang. Unmute yourself na lang po. Wait lang. Nahanap ko yung aking. Ayan. We have one raised hand.
Excuse me, please tell Ms. Sorna to turn off.
Opo, I already to turn off the screen sharing, ma'am. Okay. Please unmute yourself, Ma'am Elma Ayop.
I-off mo yung...
Opo.
Ma'am, naka-presentation mode pa rin si Ma'am Sorna.
Opo,
Ma'am Sorna, pakibalik mo na po.
Stop share po.
Sorna,
yan. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yan.
Talaga. Ayan si Ma'am Elma Ayop, nag-raise ng hand. Can we hear from her? Ayan, Ma'am Elma.
Ma'am Elma, nasa line po kayo. Ma'am Elma, paki-unmute na lang po. Okay. Ma'am, naka-mute pa po kayo, Ma'am Elma. Naka-mute. Paki-unmute, please.
Ayan, naka-unmute na siya. Ma'am Elma, good afternoon. Ano po ang katanungan? Si Ma'am Elma na may problema yata tayo sa connectivity.
May problema yung mic ni Ma'am Elma.
Opo.
Ma'am,
ako na muna.
Sige, Ma'am Pat. Si Ma'am Pat
muna.
Kasi sayang yung time. Sayang yung time. This is directed to Sorna. Miss Sorna, thank you so much for your compliance. No, and kahit short yung notice. Kahit yung short yung congratulations. Kahit short yung notice natin, nag-abide ka pa rin. Pero may question ako sa iyo. We all understand, all of us in TVET, even the universities and colleges, we all understand the requirements of the Unified TVET Program Registration and Accreditation System. And of course, yung from 2017 to 2020, I am part of that, lalo na nung inamend namin yung UTPRAS na yan. So, lahat yan nakapaloob yan, yung binabanggit mo na susundin hanggang doon sa sanction. Now, ang question doon, ano sa region ninyo, sa province ninyo, what are those things na ni-require ng provincial director mo or ng regional director mo? Kasi kadugtong pa to dapat doon kay Dr. Neil Silva eh. Kaya 'di ba sino ang mga topics natin? You remember I was asking you, Efren, Dan, na ano yung mga preparation. So ito na ngayon kay Sorna is ano tong kay Miss Sorna, ito yung actual. Ginawa niya yung actual. So Miss Sorna, ano yung specific na ni-require sa'yo on blended learning requirements? Kasi yung mga sinasabi mo, given na yon sa UTPRAS. Di ba? Pag nag-open ka ng school, ng kurso, susundin mo lang yung UTPRAS. Pero ngayon sa COVID, sa pandemic, meron tayong sinusunod, di ba? Yung blended learning requirements. Ano yung hiningi nila sa iyo to comply with this based on the the training course that you are offering? So yun ang gusto naming malaman kasi nakapag-umpisa ka na, nakagawa ka na. Ito yung nahihirapan ng marami na nagawa mo. No? Ito yung ikwento mo kung ano yung napakahirap kasi sinabi mo sa akin na hihirapan ka nga sa healthcare. Pinag-aaralan ko ngayon yon, kinakausap ko yung mga taga-TESDA kung kasi yung face-to-face diyan mahirap eh, di ba? So, kwento mo ngayon, sabihin mo ngayon, what are those requirements that sa requirements na wala doon sa UTPRAS. Tapos isinama yun ngayon because we have to follow the AITF guidelines. Thank you, Ms. Orna.
Isa sa binago sa atin yung training plan na before face-to-face training plan. So ngayon lalagyan na natin kung ang mode of delivery mo ay online, dapat yung training plan ilalagay ka na online sa mga linkages. Kung ang napili mo naman ay face-to-face and distance learning.
Face-to-face.
So dapat doon sa training plan, ilalagay mo rin po doon ang about sa face-to-face and distance learning, kung paano yung bata niya makaka-acquire siya ng learnings. Like kung distance learning, dapat yung CBLM, mag-prepare ka ng CBLM para kukunin ng bata or para pag bata isa diyan sa kanilang bahay. Kung sa online naman, dapat meron ka mga LMS, may mga pwede ka rin mag-link, yung mga ganun, dapat ilalagay niyo po yan sa resources niyo doon sa training plan. So talaga na bago halos nagsimula ako sa simula. Dahil ang aking training plan is more on the face, ngayon nilagyan ko ng blended. So dapat check-in talaga yun ng test. Actually, yung papel ko, siguro hindi lang 2 beses, 3 beses, bumalik. Pero
pabalik-balik.
Tapos kinokorek agad namin, ina-actionan agad namin hanggang sa na-comply. Hindi ko rin expect na actually isa rin ako sa training center dito sa Samar na inspection agad, naka-comply sa mga requirements ng TESDA. So out of 26 training center is pangatlo po ako sa na-inspection. So siguro lang talaga tinutukan lang talaga namin itong new normal requirements. Ang hirap pero determination lang talaga na matapos, commitment na gusto ko talaga na magkaroon ako ng certain, ma-recognize ang program na nabasan ko. Kailangan
yeah, so ibig sabihin, Ms. Sorna, the dynamics there doon sa training regulation o the CBC,
yes,
in-embed nyo doon, in-integrate doon yung blended learning flexibility. Naka-embed na siya sa once i-submit mo. So nakalagay na siya doon. Yun yung chine-check ng provincial director ninyo ng mga so yun ang kailangan. So that is how simple it is. Parang pagpakikinggan mo napakasimple pero pabalik-balik yung mga papers mo. Pero nakaya mo eh. So why not everyone, why not all of us can do this? Pero abangan natin yung sa healthcare para kasi kasama yung caregiver dyan eh.
Sana.
medyo ano yan.
Sana magawan ng
Maraming
paraan.
ano yan kasi may contact yan eh.
Oo.
Unlike
although-
welding, mga construction, hindi eh. Oo. So sana,
Sana.
napag-aaral
Magkaroon ng ways.
ano ang
Para
gagawin.
kung anong dapat gawin.
Meron yan.
Meron naman.
Oo.
Thank you.
Meron
Thank
yan.
you.
Mamaya i-share ko sa mamaya I
pag-asa
will
pa yung
share that
hilot
to
ko.
all of you.
Thank you. May
Yeah,
pag-asa pa pala
kasi
yung
kung
hilot
i-base
ko.
natin sa may pag-asa siya because yung UNESCO and the World Health, meron silang solution dyan, and I can share that with you para may continuity yung training. Kasi bitin yan kapag yan ay online lang tapos walang face-to-face. Importante pa naman yung sa healthcare, lalo na sa crisis na ito. So, titingnan natin kung papaano dadalhin ng yung training sa kasi kailangan universal, international ang standard na gagawin. Thank you, Attorney Pichi. Thank you, Ms. Sorna. Congratulations.
Thank you, BM Pat.
Attorney Pichi, third speaker, please. Third speaker.
Hello? Okay. Sorry, I had to take a phone call. Anyway, thank you very much for that very insightful presentation and also the answers to our questions. There is one question from an attendee. We still have time. It's already 3:30. But our two speakers, I think, Andre, are you ready? Sir Andre? Okay, so while they are getting ready, may we hear from Ma'am Victoria Cunanan from the attendees. Hindi, chat lang ang available for her. So I couldn't ask her to speak. So anyway, Ma'am Victoria, you can ask your question po through the chat. Ma'am Victoria Cunanan raised her hand. Let me check. Okay. Okay. So I think Ma'am Victoria, sorry, Cunanan. Sige, I will hindi ko din siya hindi ko din siya ma-promote to panelist. Kaya hindi ko din siya Anyway, just ask po doon sa chat. Sir Andre, are you ready with your presentation? Okay. Sige po, sir. You can share your screen.
Good afternoon, Attorney Pichi. I think there are questions in the group chat. Are we going to entertain them first, or can I proceed with my presentation?
Siguro, sir, you can proceed. We can entertain them then later on after your we have a Q&A later. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Attorney Pichi. Anyway, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Board Member Pat, Press Tony, and my fellow officers. Sir Dan is here. Hindi ko na po babanggitin po lahat. And to all of our TVET colleagues, partners from the regions and the provinces, magandang hapon po sa ating po lahat. And we are very thankful that you are here this afternoon. And this is a project of TVET, and this is just one of the webinars that we are going to offer to all of the members of TVET and other TVIs as well. So let me just share my screen. Okay. Okay, so let me just, wait, let me just go back. Okay, let me just introduce myself. My name is Andre Abalos. I'm the Vice President for Luzon of TEPSAFIL. I also own a school based in Dagupan. I actually own 3 schools in Pangasinan, but I just wanted to mention my main school, which is Instituto Centro Asia, based in Dagupan. And I am currently the chairman of the PCCI Metro Dagupan. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this organization. This is the organization of all businesses nationwide. And we're actually in the forefront of promoting micro, small, medium enterprises. And of course, for credentials below, I graduated from De La Salle and San Jose. So my presentation this afternoon is all about business. Basically, I'm just here to give you a pep talk because a lot of you are already in business for a long time, and I'm sure that you're already familiar with the ins and outs of business and how you have nurtured your businesses through these years. But siguro ito po ang topic ko, business insights. Let me just go back to the presentation there. Okay, so business insights during the COVID-19 crisis, and we are very familiar that we have all of these requirements, from TESDA on how we can shift to the blended learning modality and everything. And a lot of us are asking ourselves, kaya ba ng negosyo natin itong crisis na to? Because a lot of schools, yung pong lalo yung mga maliliit, medyo hirap po na mag-survive itong crisis because there's a lot of challenges. And siguro number one dyan, limited po ang ating pong scholarships. I think TESDA has already announced during a forum that the budget for scholarships has been whittled down to 7 billion from 9 billion. So napakalaki po ng nawala. And the 2 billion pesos was diverted to the COVID crisis response ng government, and basically dyan po napunta sa DOH, yung po mga frontliners po natin. So now with the challenge of a very limited fund and marami pong mga TVIs ang nagdidepende po dito, how can we possibly survive itong pandemya na ito? Because we're here for a long haul. We're not really sure how long this will take, and we're not even sure if there's going to be a vaccine by end of the year. So we have to prepare ourselves for the worst, kumbaga. Okay, so ito po yung tinatawag po natin na SWOT analysis. Ito yung strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Kami po sa chamber, we're always conducting seminars regarding itong analysis nito kasi this is very helpful in determining where our businesses stand. So babasahin po natin dito, the SWOT analysis is basically an internal and external analysis of our business. So we are trying to check where our businesses stand. Ano po yung strength niya? Let's say we can say that maybe our school is probably malakas po siya sa itong kurso na ito. Okay, so we need to find out kung ano po yung ating core courses that we can perhaps identify as our core, and ito po yung branding po natin. Okay, so for example, one school would say, I'm basically known as an HRM school. So yan po ang ating pong i-identify as one of our strengths. So that at least when we are branding and promoting ourselves, people would say, yan yung magaling na HRM school. Okay. So weakness naman po, of course, we have to find out kung hindi naman po masyadong madaming enrollees sa isang kurso na to. Perhaps we can put that in the back burner, okay, and concentrate on what perhaps yung gusto po tayong marami po tayong possible enrollees because of a certain demand. And third, yung opportunities, no? Sa experience ko po as a businessman, because ito nga po yung negosyo natin na school is basically just one of my businesses. I'm also a real estate developer. Nasa real estate business din po ako. And ito pong ginagawa ko pong investment, ina-analyze po natin talaga yung ating pong yung SWOT po natin. Kasi basically when we enter into business, tinitingnan po natin ito ba ay kaya po natin. And one of the mantra that I have learned so far is not to put all of your eggs in one basket. So yung po lagi ko po sinasabi sa mga kasama ko po sa chamber that, there are times when itong business mo na ito ay medyo mahina if you rely everything, no, lahat po ng sources po ng ating income, lahat po ng sources ng panggastos po natin is we rely on just one particular business. There are times when wala ka na pong makuha diyan, wala ka na pong recourse. So ang lagi namin pinag-aaralan dito, ano yung pwede pa na ininegosyo po natin. Kasi yun nga guys, sinabi ko kanina, if we rely on one source of income alone, what if merong crisis? Ito nga po nangyari na po. Nagkaroon po tayo ng ganitong problema. And kung heavily dependent po tayo sa isang negosyo lang, and wala po tayong nakukuha sa negosyo na to, there's a possibility that, we're all going down at wala na po tayong ibang opportunity. So, hanapin po natin ano po yung ibang opportunities natin aside from, of course, yung sa school po natin. Maybe there's a canteen of that school. Medyo pwede po siya sigurong mag-function as a another small business. You can perhaps think of a food business that you can deliver to mga online. Kasi marami na po ngayon nag-order po online. And perhaps you can retrofit that particular part of your school to conduct a food business. Okay, so yun po mga opportunities. Now sa threats naman po, well, we consider the pandemic as the health crisis as the greatest threat sa lahat po ng mga TVIs. And we are not sure, as I said earlier, that we're not sure if how long this threat will last. But kailangan po natin talagang i-survive itong threat na ito. So let us think of ways on how we can keep our businesses afloat. So ito pong analysis na to, you can do this on your own. You can take down notes and find out ano ba yung mga strengths ng business ko, ano ba yung mga weaknesses ng business ko, what are the possible opportunities that nasa harap ko lang pero hindi ko nakikita, and what are the threats. Now, isama na natin sa threat siguro, of course, yung aside for the pandemic, yung po ating po mga yung enrollment natin has already, perhaps reduced to 50%. If not, siguro more than 50%. So, titingnan po natin yung business po natin, hanggang kailan po tayo kaya na magbayad ng rentals, hanggang kailan po tayo. And these are the items that, we're always thinking every month. Lagi po natin iniisip saan po tayo kukuha ng pangpasweldo at pambayad sa rent. So, you can do your analysis, the analysis on your own and try to find out where you stand. Okay, so let's find out which industries or sectors are mostly affected by the health crisis. So, we have here, siguro number one is manufacturing, then wholesale and retail trade, other services. Kasama po dyan ang education sector, financial intermediation, transportation, agri, real estate, electricity, and mining and construction. So basically, lahat po ng sector sa Philippines affected po. We are not alone in this pandemic. We are one of the figures, kumbaga, na ito pong figures ng government, kung ilan po yung mga billions of pesos ang nawawala. We are one of the figures. And nasa third po tayo sa ranking, ang education sector. So nasa other services po tayo. So it's quite a challenge even for the government on how to jumpstart the economy. And what we can see here is, as predicted, meron na po tayong recession this year. And our GDP, our gross domestic product, has already, gone to the negative, yung negative environment, or the nasa negative na po siya na yung sa scale. And we're not sure how the government can jumpstart the economy. Now, I think Congress is coming out with a Bayanihan Act 2. And hopefully this will be passed by Congress in the second regular session. I think that's after the SONA of the president. And we hope that if the reports are true, there's a 1.3 trillion pesos that the government is mulling to provide as a to pump prime the economy. So we hope that all sectors, of course, ang ating po sector ay education. We're still reeling from the policies of the government wherein hindi po tayo pwede mag face-to-face. So we hope that depende po sa situation ng province, if the IATF will allow face-to-face, then we can all go back to our business. And of course, bumalik din po sana ng ating po mga enrollees at huwag po sila matakot despite the threat of the virus. And ito pong sectors na nipresent pa natin dito, ito billions na po ang pinag-uusapan natin dito. So ito pong pandemic na to has already caused a lot of business losses and loss of jobs nationwide. Okay, so next slide. Okay, so for businesses, it is clear that resiliency, agility, planning, empathy, and preparedness are all important factors today and in the future. Okay, building resilience gives companies a competitive edge. But what does resilience really mean? So ito pong futurist na si Jamie Castillo has defined that as resilience is all about being able to prevent or overcome the unexpected. Sustainability is about survival. The goal of resilience is to thrive. Now they say that resilience should be embraced as a good sense, rather than applying it simply to survive through protective measures, including the Luzon-wide enhanced community quarantine. Now, resilience is basically an attitude. Tinitignan po natin ang pag-ninegosyo as some sort of a bamboo. No? Isang halimbawa na lang po yung bamboo na every time there is a strong wind, it will just bend. Okay, ganun po ang resilience. If I may describe it, no, in metaphorically, ang businesses natin should be like a bamboo. Because it should be resilient. Every time there's a headwind, every time there's a strong wind, tayo po ay nagbe-bend over lang. Hindi po tayo nagtatrack, hindi po tayo nababali. So, being able to be, being able to put your business in a resilient and agile stance, this will help us survive. This will help us sustain the business. And ito po yung parang kailangan po natin ngayon. I'm not hoping that some of us will, change their business or close their schools. I'm hoping that we're able to sustain this. We're able to survive the pandemic. So ang kailangan po natin ngayon is the attitude of resilience. Kailangan po tayong mag-isip kung paano po natin maiahon ang ating. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. Okay, so just how important is business resilience? So of course we value our customers. We have to reinforce resilience as a core principle of our brand, demonstrating its application result in increased retention and attraction. The credibility of an organization and its leadership team is directly enhanced by its resilience. Institutions seeking to evolve their product offerings and operational infrastructures to drive growth rely on a resilient foundation, allowing resources to be focused on transformation rather than mitigating risk. We have been discussing this with my fellow officers on how the TEPSA field can perhaps teach our fellow TVI owners on how to become a more, how do you call it, world-class education institution. I think our president of TEPSA, si Prestoni, has mentioned earlier about finding a specific brand, no? Yung parang how we can perhaps promote our school, make it into a world-class institution. And once we are identified as a world-class institution, there's a lot of people that will gravitate towards your school and enroll. So, meron po tayong opportunity na hindi na po tayo perhaps rely sa scholarship because kilala na po tayo. Tayo po ay kilala bilang isang magaling na, for example, HRM school or caregiver school. So pwede po tayong mag-brand as a world-class school wherein, tayo po ay nagsisingil na po ng ganitong certain amount. So kung tayo po ay hindi na po nagre-rely sa scholarship ng TESDA, tendency is of course tayo, we can do anything, we can offer anything we want, we can come out with their own curriculum. Kasi ang TESDA po ay basic na kasi ang ino-offer niyan, tayo po ay binibigyan po ng leeway to expand whatever basic curriculum that TESDA is imposing. So, pag tayo po ay world class na po, or we can find out on how we can, adhere to certain standards, more than what TESDA standards is requiring, tayo po ay magkakaroon po ng mas magandang image. Okay? So magkakaroon po tayo ng mas magandang credibility. So yun po, that's part of yung ating pong core value na we should practice. And maganda po sa TEPSA field kasi maganda po ang direction na gusto ng ating pong si board member Pat and Prestoni on how we can help our TVIs become less reliant on TESDA scholarships. I guess that's number one. No? Yung suggestion po natin that we should find our own niche, we should find our own yung strength, so that when the time comes when we are able to not rely on TESDA alone, but we can rely on walk-in students who can pay the tuition fees, then ito po ang makakatulong po para tayo po ay mas maging resilient. Next slide. Okay, so these are the things that we need to focus on. So the capabilities of our employees. Dapat tayo po ay we should continually offer them opportunity to improve their skills. Okay, that's number one. Now, customers, suppliers, and stakeholders. So let's make sure that we plan something for unexpected consequences of the pandemic. Like one example is kasi hindi naman po natin alam kung how long this pandemic will last. So let us try to plan ahead. Maybe we can inform our customers, our students that yun nga po, meron po tayong mga blended, meron po tayong mga online courses. But also, let us already think, ano po ba yung mga added value na pwede po natin ibigay sa ating po mga customers. So maybe we can contact an agency, or employment agency that maybe pwede po silang tumulong sa ating po mga graduates. By the way, I think board member Pat has already announced that meron po tayong bisita from OWA who will be discussing the caregiver program. Am I correct, board member? So kung meron po tayong mga opportunities na ganyan, let us find ways on how we can add value to what we are already giving our students. Okay, so one example is giving them job opportunities. Next one will be tax and audit. Of course, tax will always be there. Sabi nga nila, ang only thing constant in this world is debt and taxes. So wala ho tayong magagawa dyan sa taxes. But at least we can find ways on how we can, legally reduce our tax burden. Then explore po natin yan. And then, of course, ito po ay may impact sa ating cash flow, no? Kasi aside from the rentals that we are paying, tayo po ay, of course, we are facing ito pong ang ating pong ilang months na tayo po ay walang income, pero and yet magbabayad po tayo ng rentals and all of these expenses po natin. The next one that we should focus on is also the business continuity of your setup. So despite the existence of business continuity plan, ang COVID crisis na to has exposed a lot of gaps. So you need to check if you have sufficient resources and supplies to outlast the pandemic and whether you have the space to store them. So basically what we're saying here is that meron na po tayong plano for the next 12 months. Okay, hindi po tayo nagpaplano na isang buwan lang o 2 buwan lang kasi hindi po natin sigurado when the government can come up with vaccine. And then, hindi rin po natin alam kung hanggang kailan po pwede tayong tulungan ng gobyerno din. Kasi in fact, we have not received any ayuda from the government for our employees. And we have not received any help from the government. So in terms of loans, hindi po natin sigurado kung ilan na po sa atin ang naka-avail ng loan. So very important po talaga ang business continuity planning po natin kasi we have to make sure that within the next 12 months, meron po tayong pambayad sa rentals, meron po tayong pambayad sa sweldo. So this is very important. So next slide. Okay, so we should also focus on the cash flow and insurance. So with changes and delays to your service, as former cash flows may be strained. So this is very true. A lot of us are already reeling from the effects of the business or from the COVID crisis from day one of the lockdown. So we started March 15 and that lasted until mid-May. May onwards, tayo po ay nakasara pa rin at wala po tayong income na pumapasok. So this is draining our resources already. So kailangan po tayo mag-isip on how we can, survive. So gaya ng sinabi ko kanina, we have to look at ways on how we can earn income using our school. Like for example, yung canteen. If you have yung po mga HRM schools na meron po kayong mga bread and pastry, baka pwede po ninyong gamitin ang inyong mga oven and gas and other equipment po sa inyong kusina to come out with a food business. So napaka-importante po, whatever assets you have, you work on that. Tignan po ninyo kung how you can use these assets for other ventures. Okay. Next one, we have to remain optimistic. So gaya ng sinabi ko nila, there's always a silver lining, sabi nga nila. So let's always look for that silver lining. Let us remain optimistic that despite right now, let us bear in mind that this is not going to last that long. I'm very sure that in the future, alam na po natin on how to deal with this kind of virus. So baka naman may susunod na virus na naman. So we hope that we can act quickly to address that concern at alam na rin po natin kung ano po yung mga possible na like lockdowns. This is something new to us yung mga ACQ, GCQ, di ba? But let us remain optimistic that ilang mang virus ang darating, ilang mang pandemic ang darating, we will remain our head above the water and we should always remain optimistic. And of course, let us always monitor the situation because let us keep ourselves updated. Alam po natin anong nangyayari sa ating pong lugar, sa ating pong bansa, and of course, yung mga policies ng government and how these policies affect our businesses. Because it's very important that we're always engaged, we're always informed. And we're very thankful for TVET for always providing a venue for all of us to come together and discuss our problems and have a webinar like this one because it's also important that we learn new knowledge and skills. Okay, next slide. So I guess that was my last slide. And ito po yung mga hashtags that I have prepared. We recover as one because of course ito pong pandemic has already killed a lot of people and we hope that we all stay safe in our homes. We heal as one because of course ito pong wounds po natin ay no matter how deep they are, tayo po ay I'm very sure na ito po ay heal. Stand together ito po ay mantra po ng ating leader sa TEPS Appeal. We always think that wala pong may iwan. Lahat po tayo ay sama-sama in solving this crisis. And that is the TEPS Appeal way. So maraming salamat po. And Attorney Pichi, is there any questions from the participants? Thank you.
Actually, there's a very pressing, I think this is papanahon din na katanungan from Sir J. Soria with regards to, tinatanong niya talaga na how can we prevent bankruptcy for the TVIs? I think that's a very vast question. And siguro po I can share a little bit because I am a member of the PAPSCO. I'm a trustee of the PAPSCO who is handling now Cocopeya, and I am a very active member of PACO, Philippine Association of Universities. And I'd like to mention po that every week, every Wednesday, may weekly meeting po ang mga president ng eskwelahan. At nagganito din po, nag-share po kami ng mga problema namin at kung paano ino-overcome ang mga problema. Sa isa pong presentation ni Dr. Fabella, hindi ko po kasi ma-share yung slide dahil nandito sa cellphone po yung screenshot noon. Pero ang sinasabi niya po para sa mga eskwelahan, that of course, how can we tide this over financially? So unang-una ang advice niya is cash is king. Keep your cash. Do not spend anything this time. Kung dati may plano kayong gumastos sa inyong mga things, mga improvement, equipment, wag na muna kayong bumili. Sabi niya, ang number 2 niya, keep all expenses, keep all your keep all your expenses adapting to the new normal. Meaning, if you have to renovate, to re-engineer your layouts for the new normal, kailangan mo bumili ng mga disinfectant for the new normal, kailangan mo ng LMS for the new normal, yun ang gastusan. Sabi niya, talk to your creditors. Dali lang. Okay. Sabi niya, talk to your creditors, suppliers, renegotiate kung may mga utang sa bangko, renegotiate if needed. At sabihin mo sa kanila kung ano ang inyong sitwasyon. Another is cut expenses to the most essential. And then plan according to your worst experience. So, syempre, dung matagal na po sa negosyo, alam nyo yung history ng eskwelahan nyo, ano yung worst case scenario na nangyaring dinaanan mo na, ilan yung enrollees mo nung panahon na yon at babaan mo pa. So, you should plan according to your worst case scenario. And then, ako naman po, sa akin, maidadagdag ko din, it's very important to communicate your services. Kasi sa ngayon po, hindi talaga natin mai-expect yung mga abata na pumunta sa eskwelahan. Dahil katulad po kami, kahit MGCQ kami, gusto nilang mag-enroll, hindi naman sila maka-enroll dahil hindi sila makalabas ng kanilang mga bahay. So, go to your students if you must. Kung kailangan, puntahan nyo yung barangay para mag-enroll sila, puntahan nyo na po. Kahit isa lang yan, dalawa lang yan, importanteng may enrollees po tayo. Again, ang mode natin ngayon ay survival. So I hope po nasagot ko yung kay Sir Jay. May dadagdag ka po, Sir Andre, with regards to preventing bankruptcy and making sure that we survive this pandemic.
Yeah, okay. Yes, ma'am. Attorney Pichi, I would like to announce to everybody that ang PCCI po, meron po tayong arrangement with Land Bank and Small Business Corporation to help ito po mga micro and small businesses. Kasama na po ang ating po mga TVEs dyan. If your school is capitalized like 3 million below, you're categorized as a micro enterprise. Ngayon, meron pong loan facility ang Land Bank at saka ang Small Business Corporation. You can borrow as low as 100,000 pesos to as high as 1 million pesos. This is to assist or to help distressed companies by infusing additional capital. Now, the loan facility, as far as I know, meron po silang terms like meron pong 5 years to pay with an interest rate of around 6%. So if the TVIs here are, our colleagues here are interested, we can come out with another webinar on how to perhaps channel itong credit line na ito sa mga nangailangan. And also, gaya ng sinabi ko earlier, it is time to look for additional businesses. It's also time to look for additional partners. Additional business meaning, kung ano po yung meron po tayo, kaya ng sinadjust ko po kanina, meron po tayong bread and pastry equipment, meron po tayong mga oven, meron po tayong mga kagamitan na pwede po tayo mag-start sa maliit na food business, then do so. Do not rely on scholarships alone, because for all we know, baka meron po kayong makukuha na scholarship from your provincial director, pero baka isang batch lang po yan, and that will not help you survive for the next 12 months if you only get like 25 students or scholars. So we cannot rely solely on scholarships. The other one would be partnership. I think there was a time when there was yung crisis sa mga bangko. What they did was they merged. They came up with a bigger bank, and they all merged. So it's also one way of yung assimilating your business with another entity. So pwede rin po yun. And then you can come out with a value proposition that perhaps you can offer a better brand or a better service, and dyan makikilala po ang ating negosyo. So that's one of the things lang that perhaps I can share to everyone, na siguro hindi naman po one size fits all, no? Hindi naman po lahat ng experiences po natin would be applicable to everyone. So ang importante is maging positive po tayo, let us remain resilient, and let us find ways on how to keep our businesses afloat. So maraming salamat po. Good afternoon, everyone.
Mr. Andre. Sir
Attorney
Efren,
Pichi.
yes po,
Yeah.
sige po.
I would like to make two very short comments. Number one, salamat Andre, kasi he is a very good entrepreneur. Yung pong engineer niya, talagang ginagawa niya yun sa negosyo niya. Kaya marami tayong matututunan doon. Pangalawa, I would like also, nag-a-arrange po ako ng mga ibang webinars na makakatulong sa TVIs. These are all for free. So, ipopost ko po sa TEBSAFIL group chat. We are now organizing, it's now sure that in August, meron po kaming webinar on reinventing your new business model to survive and to thrive under the new normal. Yung pong mga speakers natin dito ay mga doctorates in business management from Ateneo University, and he also the Dean Emeritus ng INTREP program ng Ateneo University. Sabi ko, hiningi ko po, ang mahal nung sinisingil nila, but my group ko po yun from AIM, I requested my group for TEBSAFIL kung pwede mag-attend dito ng free. So I am very happy, I am pleased to inform everybody na pwede po tayong pumasok doon. Papadala ko po yung invitation. So ang papasok po rito, yung mga taga Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, yung pong mga locators ng Clark, at yung dean ng NTREP program ng Graduate School ng Ateneo de Manila University. Yung po ang mga speakers natin. Kaya I will invite everybody. Kailangan po talagang i-reinvent natin yung business models. Under the new normal, the old business models will not work. Mabuti sinulan po ni Attorney Pichi yung senior niya sa atin. If you really have cash now, hawakan mo. Yun ang the hen that lays the golden egg. And always plan for the worst scenario. You never plan for an ideal scenario. Yun po yung mga topic na isi-share namin. Pero Andre, maraming salamat for sharing. Marami kaming natutunan sa iyo, at talagang makakatulong yon for the TVIs to survive and thrive under the new normal. So yun lang po, Attorney Pichi. So I would yield to other questions. Yung po mga hindi pa siguro nagsasalita, can we encourage them to talk so that everybody can participate? Salamat po.
Opo. Maybe before we I can adjust. Yes, ma'am pa. Sige po. And then I will read some of the comments in the chat
Yeah.
box. Sige po.
This one is in addition lang doon kay Sir Dan. Thank you for yung invitation mo. I read it in the chat group. So I can also inform everyone to open your mag-browse kayo the UNESCO, the UNIVOC, kasi member naman ang bansa natin sa United Nations on education, focusing on vocational. We have this Commonwealth of Learning, we call that COL. So we're now member of that as a nation. Now, merong libreng policy brief and guidelines to policy makers. So libre yan, ida-download lang ninyo. Just open the UNIVOC, UNESCO UNIVOC. It's libre. You can download the guide to virtual university policy and even basic guides on online learning. Hindi na kailangan magbayad tayo. Marami naman sa atin dito, kahit hindi nakapag-masteral, madaling intindihin ito. Basic guides on online learning, blended learning, open textbook. You can dig this in the UNIVOC, UNESCO. Just open their website. We have a course on designing online learning. Madali siyang maintindihan. Ako, pinag-aralan ko siya eh. The e-learning guidebook of principle, procedures, and practices. Education for Digital World, Guide to Blended Learning, Guide to Developing Open Textbook, and all businesses. So, hindi na natin kailangan ang magbayad pa ng mga training programs that is conducted in an association. So, we just, be resourceful. So, like inviting yung mga great people in Ateneo and AIM, and then we just have to be resourceful. Ako, ang dami kong downloadable siya, mapag-aaralan siya. Hindi binibenta ng UNIVOC, hindi binibenta ng UNESCO. This is yung lahat ng libro nila ay downloadable, na pag-aaralan, open it, and you have it. Yung sinasabi ninyo tungkol sa business niya na I'm a very practical person. Katulad nung sinabi ni Andre, expound ko lang yun. Anong ginagamit ng mga oven ninyo? Yung culinary thing inside your school, gamitin ninyo, diversify para hindi kayo mabankrupt. And yung sinasabi nga ni Attorney Pichi, if you have cash, keep it with you. Yon. What is necessary, yun lang dapat ang ating gamitin. So open up. Ako, you know what? Sa career research ko, I was able to gumawa ako ng module. Bago lang. I will now be conducting an online a course on infection prevention because that is emerging. Maraming mapag-iisipan nating emerging and diversify. Yung talino ninyo, yung galing ninyo, gamitin ninyo, you can have money from that. And I will answer pala yung kay mag-usap na lang tayo, Elma, yung mga hinaing mo tungkol sa healthcare na papabayaan, bakit hindi inaasikaso. We will fight tooth and nail with that para mabuksan yung caregiver. Kasi ang daming nangangailangan ng care ng mga caregivers around the world. Thank you, Attorney Pichi.
Okay po. So now we proceed. Maybe we can hear a little bit from Ma'am Raquel Bracero, the PASE president. Yes,
hello.
Ma'am Raquel.
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. Actually, this is an impromptu speech kasi I didn't know that I have to talk. Akala ko participant lang po ako. Okay. I'm Raquel Bracero. I am the president of the Philippine Association of Service Exporters Incorporated. It is an association of overseas recruitment agencies. We have about 300 members. No, sabi ko nga kanina kay Madam Pat, ano hong aking sasabihin? So sabi niya, sige basta kwento mo na lang kung ano yung mga market. Okay. So siguro I have to focus on that. Actually right now, ang pinakakailangan po ay yung mga kababanggit nyo lang din po ay yung mga care givers or care health workers. Number 1 po yon. Ano hong mga bansa ang bukas? Germany, UK, US, and then, well, hopefully Japan. But then tumataas ang ating COVID, kaya medyo po tayo. So ano ho ba ang mga kailangan? Like in Japan, talaga pong bago ho yung pandemic, napakadami po ang requirements. Sa Germany po, napakadami din po ang requirements. Sa UK, marami requirements. And right now, ang Pasay po kasi ay kami po ang nagbubukas ng market sa Europe. Right now, we are in negotiation with the Austria government also for care health workers. At ang maganda po dito sa Austria, hindi ho kailangan na nursing graduate. The specified na pwede ho ang graduate ho ng TESDA. They're very familiar with TESDA. Mukhang pinag-aralan nila kung ano yung TESDA. Kasi when we meet with the consul, yun po kaagad ang sinabi niya. So we're working on that. Actually, before the pandemic, nag-uusap na kami kasi meron na pong mga employers na gusto na talagang kumuha. Unfortunately, dumating po si Corona. So, ito po yung pwedeng you can prepare, your group can prepare on that. Medyo po yun hong HRM ay medyo isasantabi muna siya kasi hindi po siya magiging in demand. Ang magiging in demand po ay yung mga healthcare workers and caregivers. So, right now, meron ho tayong ban ng deployment ng healthcare workers. But then, we were able to negotiate to the government na pwedeng umalis pagka merong kontrata na before March 8. So kung meron ho kayong mga graduates na talagang pwede nang umalis, pwede ho silang mag-apply dun sa mga, check nyo lang po dun sa sa TVET kung sino yung may mga approved job order. Kasi yun, pwede po silang magpaalis. Now, ngayon po, our association, PASEI, is working on the lifting of the total ban of the deployment of the healthcare workers. So, we hope na we will be able, kasi mukhang ang kalaban namin ay ang ating presidente. No? So, we're hoping against hope na sana ay mapagbigyan kasi ganito po yun. Based on the survey of the Philippine Nurses Association, we have about between 200 to 250,000 nursing graduates na wala pong trabaho. Out of that, ang naipapadala lang po ng ating ng mga agencies abroad ay 10% lang. So yan po yung pinaglalaban natin. So yun po, at saka another training na pwede pong pasukan po ng inyong school ay ito pong language training. We are now working with TESDA on the Japanese language na itataas po kasi lang po siya 120 lang. So ang requirement ng Japan is 320. So hopefully lalabas na po, sabi po sa amin ng TESDA, they will approve it. No? So yan po yung isa pong mapagtuunan ninyo sa school, yun pong language training. Meron din po yung isang ay yung German language. Ang mga ngailangan po nito is Germany at saka Austria. Dun sa Austria, ang kailangan lang nila basic eh. Sa Germany ang medyo mga umaabot ng 9 months, no? But then yung school nyo kayang-kaya nyong gawin to. And dun po sa German language, employer po ang nagbabayad noon, no? The whole 9 to 10 months, 9 months to 1 year. So, yun po yung pwedeng pagtuunan kasi yan po yung kulang. Kasi ilan lang po ang German school, no? So, sabi nga namin sa TESDA, ito pong mga nagdaang mga linggo, we were having our meetings with TESDA para po dito sa language training ng Japanese at German language. So, yun po yung pwedeng pasukan ninyo kasi wala pa hong masyadong madami. Sa Japanese merong madami, pero yung German wala. Yun. So, yun po yung aking mai-share. Like you or like any other business, we were also impacted by the pandemic. And gaya ng nabanggit nyo rin na kailangan din natin ng, actually we made an appeal to Congress na isama yung aming sector for the stimulus package. So nag-submit po kami na aming position paper and then we had several webinars po. I-share ko lang po tayo sa inyo kasi kanina nabanggit po yung tungkol doon sa mga loans. We have our webinar with Land Bank and DBP. Nakita po namin yung DBP medyo mas nakalamang siya kasi pwedeng walang collateral. Ang kailangan lang ay yung FS ng company. And then, yung kanilang ibibigay ay based on kung magkano yung and it's payable within 5 years. At meron silang ibibigay na mga 2 years na pwede kang hindi mo na magbayad kasi nga, you're still suffering. So, yun lang po yung aking pwedeng i-share sa inyo. And I hope nakapagbigay ho ako sa inyo ng information na kahit konti, no? So I'm looking forward to work with you and seeing you again, not only in this forum and also in other forum. Thank you very much and God bless us all.
Thank you, Ma'am Bracero. That was a very hopeful news for us na meron pa ding nangangailangan at meron pa ding nangangailangan ng ating mga graduates or mga completers ng mga trainings po natin. That was a very good news. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
I hope, ma'am, you could stay until a little later para po kung may mga questions po ay ma-address po natin. Tapusin muna po natin lahat ng speakers.
Yes.
So meron pa po.
Yes, I will. Thank you. I will stay. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. So now we have as our next speaker, our beloved counselor from Baguio City, Board of Director of NIIT Philippines. May we call on Honorable Vladimir Cayabas. He is now in the room and he will talk on creating a new normal social media culture in the TVET industry. Sir.
Yes, good afternoon to everyone. Magandang Pilipinas po sa ating lahat, especially sa TEBSA field at lahat na ng mga educators natin sa tech sector ng ating bansang Pilipinas. The topic that was given to me, it's all about creating a new normal social media culture in the TVET industry. But my presentation is more on the general concept, especially the challenges where we are in today at the TVET sector. So first, it's all about building personal resilience quotient. It is considered that we are leaders in our community as leaders of the TVET sector, and that's why it starts from ourselves for us to become personal resilient to be able to influence our people and of course our community. Now, practically that we need to identify the challenges where we are doing, and that is by the application of the so-called TOS analysis, or it's all about the SWOT analysis, my friends. So I think the first challenge today, it's more about it's all about how to be sustainable this time, especially that we are facing not only a short-term problem, but I think it's actually a long-term challenge, our friends. So about being sustainable. Another one, it's all about how to maintain our operations and at the same time maintain our number of enrollees, or even increase the number of our enrollees this time, although it's easier said than that. Another challenge, I think, it's all about how to update also our programs so that we could be able to offer new programs that would make our clients more exciting to enroll, if not to take the programs, or yes, again, enroll our courses. It's also important for us to retool our personnel, because that's the game of today. It's all about building again the skills, competencies of our people, because they will be the one to put life to our institutions. Another one is all about sustaining our service partnership, just like our company partners or even our LGU partners. Importante rin po sa atin na malaman natin yung tinatawag na nating requirements ng ating government para tayo po ay makisabay sa ganitong klase ng hanap buhay. We understand that new approaches for us to be able to market our programs. And that's why it's all about formal social media culture. So when we speak about new approaches and as far as marketing our programs, it's also important for us to identify yan para makagawa po tayo ng karampatan na klase ng social media platform na ma-appreciate po ng ating mga clients. Because after all, it's all about, again, promoting our programs, but in a way, joining with our service partners, presenting what our institutions could do for us to be able to help them to grow further their career, mga kaibigan. One that we would like is being resilient means even it is less than what we had before. So that's something that we need to build. I know that the TVET industry had developed that kind of mindset even before. It's part of the so-called growth mindset. Another one is building agile thinking or thinking to come up with better approaches. Those approaches that were effective before, not necessarily effective until today, especially we have the so-called new normal. So we need to come up with new approaches, new strategies, or even new platforms, my friends. It's also important rin sa atin ang role ng dati natin mga graduate.
Sorry, nakakat kayo.
COVID, my friends, we need to collaborate for that.
Nagka-cut po kayo, sir? Counselor? Marinig mo po siya?
Wala siya. Nawalang signal tayo sa kanya. Sayang, ang ganda ng presentation niya. Wala nang sound sa atin, walang dumarating. Siguro we can advise him through text or call. Sayang yung nagsasalita pa siya eh. Hindi niya alam na hindi na siya nakakapasok. Can we advise the honorable counselor?
Opo. Si Ma'am Pat po ang contact niya. Opo. So, anyway, we have with us, siguro while waiting, no? We have with us an LMS provider that we have invited. For those schools po na anong gagawin, wala pa tayong LMS. For those po who will go online, meron po tayong na-invite na magpe-present pa din po sa atin. Maiksi lang ito, 15 minutes lang now. And then she will just entertain questions later. Let me see. Miss Joycey, are you around?
Hello, hi, Attorney Pichi. Yes, nandito po ako.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe we can, siguro we will address your presentation first, and then we will go back to Counselor later on when he has better connection po.
Oh, okay,
Sige,
no
Ms.
problem.
You can go ahead.
Okay, sure.
You can already share your screen.
All right, let me do that.
You can proceed with Q&A afterwards. Yes.
Okay, so now I have my screen shared with everyone. Good afternoon, TVET members and officers. My name is Joycey Mejia. I am part of Frame Media eLearning. And today I'll just do a very quick overview of what we do, how we can help you with your schools in terms of building your online learning modality, perhaps give you an idea of what is possible. I'll keep it brief so that we can open for more of your questions, because I'm sure everyone is very aware of e-learning, LMS. So this is just a quick overview of what we can do for you. So as Attorney Pichi mentioned, we started in 2010 by Microsoft developers who have been working with e-learning for a very long time. Miss Patricia, I think, mentioned that e-learning and LMS, these concepts have been around for so long, even in the early 2000s, and our heads have been seeing that. We started the company doing e-learning for abroad, but now we're happy that in the last 5 years, there are more companies and schools adapting to e-learning. So just to share the industries that we worked with, we worked in the banking, insurance, even food and beverage for some safety training, even wind power in the engineering side. And we're happy that we see that there are a lot of opportunities to make training programs online. For example, for banking and insurance, there are a lot of compliance training required. So of course, we help them to create an online university to centralize all these trainings. So we also want to share with everybody that we are an accredited anti-money laundering council e-learning provider. What this means is that our LMS platform has been reviewed by AMLC, and even our learning materials have been reviewed by AMLC to be of high quality that can be rolled out nationwide to BSP registered companies or SEC, etc. And our platform is quite secure, so we are assured that our system is also covered by data privacy requirements. So we provide end-to-end e-learning solutions. Today, we will cover learning management system, but we also help in other parts of e-learning because it's quite a, there are a lot of things that can be done with e-learning. We have done converting classroom to an online module. We do instructional videos, or we help our partners create their own instructional videos. And we also do e-learning workshops to upskill trainers how to become more well-versed in online training. And today we'll show you more about our learning management system. Basically, we work as an extended team for your online learning modality efforts. We understand that e-learning is not one size fit all. We really make an effort to understand your school, your institution, how you work, and then we come in to recommend how best to create your e-learning module. So sometimes we know that mahirap ang connection ngayon, we won't recommend puro video. Sometimes maybe we will recommend a simple text-based but clickable material. So we come in as a consultant. So today, just to talk about the ecosystem, LMS ecosystem for schools. Let me show you my next slide. I want to show that there are a lot of touch points that our LMS can handle. You'll see here that it can handle payments, it can track your data, you can create course activities here, you can even extend CPD training, perhaps something similar that Testa does. And here below, the system can also be divided to various schools. The power of our system is that we can create different groups within the LMS and only allow them access to what is particular to them. For example, for School of Engineering, we create a mini setup for them so that they would only have access to engineering related topics. So I have a video prepared for everyone just to give you a better appreciation of how our LMS can help with the various touch points of your institution. I hope that the audio will be heard by our participants today.
Are you curious about immersive LMS for schools? Well, it's your lucky day. This is an insider view of how the system works. Let's start with online course activities. In the LMS, teachers can easily insert a variety of learning activities to create dynamic learning experiences for the students. Generate detailed reports and maintain student grades in markbooks, making it easier to keep track of student progress. Certificates of completion can be automated and managed easily. Organizing the courses can be done in a lot of ways. Categorize them by levels, prerequisites, or dependencies to provide a pathway or learning plans. Another way is to organize it by faculty or school. Regardless of which, the system will make sure that the students will see what they need to see. Once the system is live, it will collect relevant data on the courses and students and store it in a secure database that strictly complies with data privacy. Students can see their progress and grades. Teachers and faculty heads can access data on the students' progress, activities, and grades within their faculty. The system manager can access relevant progress reports from across the system. Administrators are specialized accounts with the highest permissions able to manage the system. They usually control the system configuration and support other users. Administrators receive focused training to help them make the most of the system and understand its capabilities. These are just the basics. Let's advance to more features that can help your institution grow a lot more. Managing enrollment forms, admission processes, and payments into the system is all possible within the system with tools to help you track and confirm payments made. Using the e-commerce capability, your organization can also sell access to online courses for external groups. This makes distance learning possible for the growing community. You can even offer online learning for continuing education to other people outside the institution and manage CPD for them, awarding points and tracking progress. LMS systems generally operate asynchronously, but linking it to a web conference room gives you synchronous video sessions too. These can be booked in advance using the booking module and scheduled at appropriate times. We know learning can be a difficult experience for some. but accessing learning online should not be. This system works with cell phones, tablets, laptops, and desktops, and only requires a modern browser and at least a 3G internet connection. The faster your connection, the smoother the experience for your end users. We believe remote learning should not replace face-to-face tuition, but can be applied to your overall curriculum as part of a blended learning solution. You may already have many different systems that you want to keep using. That's fine. We can link up to your databases and other systems as long as there is an API for us to use. This brings all of your tools into one powerful system, making managing your learners and their courses easier than ever before. Right now is a good time for you to try online learning for your institution, knowing that our system is fully secure, scalable, and powerful enough for your changing needs.
So I hope that excuse me, I hope that gave everyone an appreciation of what the LMS can do aside from creating courses and activities within the LMS. We can also connect your registrar to track any payments made. You can create your own online shop if you want to sell any of your training. Perhaps, I'm sure here there are various SME subject experts in their particular Tech Vox school. You can create your own online shop, perhaps to sell those programs online, but you can also create the system to be accessed by your own students within the school or within the university. And at the same time, if you have other systems that you are currently using, instead of having separate systems in your organization, what we can also help you with is connecting all of these systems into one platform. So for example, the experience of your school admin, of your students, all of your online platforms will be connected within this one centralized LMS. I have just a few more slides. So this is just an overview of the inclusions of the LMS. So you can create courses, you can create learning pathways. Was mentioned as competencies. Very happy that that was mentioned, because competencies can also be set up within our LMS. We can also create various groups. So let's say that you would want to provide the LMS for a lot of sub-users. We can create special access to different departments or different groups. And we also provide support. If you would need help with the LMS, uploading courses, we normally provide that within our services.
Yeah, Attorney Pichi, can I have two short questions?
Oh, sure. Let me go
After
back.
the presentation.
May presentation.
I just have yes,
tapusin mo.
we can open the floor to more questions. I have a few more slides na lang po. Mabilis na lang po ito.
Okay, sige po.
Okay, thank you po. Okay, so just to give everyone, this is just an overview of what are the inclusions of the LMS. So we understand, especially for those schools who have probably tried to set up their own system, there are a lot of requirements to put this together. For example, hosting, updating the software, so that's also included within our services. We create an online ticket-based help desk because one of the requirements is to have yung support po natin 24/7. So kahit po na let's say na may tanong sa gabi, pwede po isubmit yon sa online ticket-based help desk natin. We also provide customer account management support. So for example, baguhan, hindi pa nakakagamit ng system before ang iyong IT, or perhaps I would say siguro yung school admin side, we can also help with training. So we also provide training within the proposal namin po. And aside from the system, we also understand ano pa yung kailangan nyo as a school. We also create extra features, or we can also create customizations. For example, if you want to create a new shop, or if you want to connect your system, as mentioned a while ago, our system is quite flexible and adaptable in that sense. Now, we understand what your needs are. So how soon we can set this up? Usually 2 weeks na po kami. Pero actually kahit the next week, kung maganda na po ang idea ng school or ng organization, how they want their LMS to be set up, mabilis lang po yung turnover namin in setting up the LMS. And siguro final words, this is something that we always talk about within our company. This is a quote of Loeffler: "The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn." There were a lot of mentions today about, yung change mindset, change management, and that is the calling for all of us today. Now, we really have to relearn. I understand here is an expertise in their own subjects, but now we're called to relearn, try to understand what this online world is. I'm sure yung mga attendees po natin familiar sa TikTok, yung mga Facebook Live, yun po ang mga, yun po ang mga platforms that made online more exciting and more fun. And we can always learn even from social media to apply to online learning. So that's my last slide. This is just more information about me. If you would like to reach out to us, you can visit our website. This is my email and my mobile number. You can always text me if you would want to have a consultation. And you can also visit our website here, or our booking website. It's bit.ly/fraymedia_LMS if you would want to book a free consultation po siya. If meron po kayong, baka kasi hindi ko makakover po today, if meron po kayong specific concern sa online strategy nyo po, pwede po tayo mag-schedule ng discussion later. So, tapos na po ang aking presentation. Happy to answer any of your questions today po.
Okay. Sir Dan has some questions.
Opo.
Yun na muna po siguro.
Dalawa lang po, Ma'am Joyce.
Yes po.
Masyadong attractive po yung presentation nyo ngayon at talagang kailangan po yun ng mga TVIs. So, 2 questions. Number 1, what is the least economic size para po maging realistic na mag-avail nitong system na to? And number 2, ang question ko rin po is, can you discuss some cost-benefit analysis if a school would want to avail? Para alam ko po, maraming interesado at maraming namamangha sa kagandang sistemang ito. Pero ang tanong nila, napakasimple lang po. Paano kami makaka-avail yan? Kaya ba namin? At ano yung pinakamaliit na enrollment o school na pwede ninyong pagsayangan ng panahon? Yun lang po ang tanong ko. Salamat po.
Thank you po. Thank you po, Mr. Efred. Sige, sasagutin ko po yung tanong niya po. So number 1, ito po yung question na kung ilan po ang minimum na pwedeng mag-enroll po sa system. Ang recommendation po namin, actually ang minimum para maging cost-effective po siya is 3,000 users or 3,000 students. Now, baka isipin niyo po na, naku, baka yung school ko po konti lang o 100 lang kami or konti lang, below 100. May magandang nasabi po may example na nasabi po kanina si Mr. Andre po ba yun tungkol sa maliliit na banks na nagsama-sama po sila para maging part ng mas beneficial na package. So yun po ang benefit po sa aming LMS na hindi po kami limited na para sa mga malalaking organizations. Pwede po kasi kami mag-partner na siguro may mga schools or mga training centers na pwede pong pagsama para po ma-achieve po yung 3,000 na users or students. Actually po, meron po kaming mga nagawa na less. May nagawa na po kaming 500 user na setup. Pero po, para sa amin po, mas magiging cost beneficial po siya pag mas marami ang nasa system. Sa amin po kasi, ang mga ang considerations po kasi namin is yung pag-setup ng system, yung pag-setup ng servers, ng software po, para ma-update po siya. At pag konti lang po ang ilalagay po sa system namin, baka kasi hindi maging cost beneficial. Kaya ang recommendation po namin are 3,000 users. So, ang idea po na masishare ko po sa inyo na pwede po siya i-share with other members or with other schools para po makuha ang 3,000 na beneficial po sa budget. Yes po. I hope that...
my question dito sa chat with regards to what is the use of the SCORM package in the LMS?
Ang SCORM package po. that is a, ano po siya, think of it as a, para po siyang website or para po siyang online package na pwede maging gamified at interactive ang material nyo. Let's say, PowerPoint ang material. Pag PowerPoint po kasi meron namang mga animations, pwedeng mag left and right. Ang maganda po kasi sa SCORM is ang materials nyo po nagkakaroon ng mas nabubuhay po siya. So, pwede po lagyan ng game, ang clickable, drag and drop, pwede po maglagay ng assessment. Pwede po siya kasi ilagay sa system and yung SCORM po na yun, natatrack po yung activity. So, kunyari, gaano sila katagal sa material, gaano sila, ano ang result ng quiz, saan ba sila last nag-stop. Diba, may mga experience po tayo. Let's say sa Netflix, kung nag-pause tayo dyan, kung umalis tayo, babalik tayo, yun, andun pa rin, naka-bookmark pa rin sa last scene na pinanood natin. So, ganun po ang SCORM sa system.
Okay, so it makes the LMS more interactive and more broader in terms of the functionality. There's another question. Is the test the online program using your system?
Right now, not yet. When we create po kasi yung system po namin is it's really naka-tailor po sa organization that we work with. Na-mention din po dito na TESDA is using Moodle. Actually, i-share po namin na ang system po namin is Moodle-based. Pero ano po ang difference ng system namin sa mga ibang LMS providers is siniset up po namin yung pinaka-back-end ng system para po ma-capture yung paano po yung pag-list nyo ng students, kung student ID ba. Ang consideration din po namin is paano po i-set up yung system para sa mga iba pong mag-aate or magla-login sa system. So yun po kasi ang mas na po kasi na hindi lang through Moodle, meron po kasing back-end din kaming nakasama sa buong system para po mas madali na lang i-track yung overall activity of the school within the LMS. And at the same time, dahil po siya Moodle-based, madali lang po yung magiging adaptation ng mga students, teachers, and how to use the system. Pero ang power po niya is for the system admin, for the school administrators, or maybe the leaders or executives of the organization to have a top-line point of view of the system.
Thank you, Joyce. Sir Andre is raising his hand. Sir Andre, you want to?
Yes po.
And then after Sir Andre, Ma'am Pat. Sige po, unmute na lang, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Attorney Peachy. Ma'am Joyce, good afternoon. Yung po bang arrangement natin, you're coming in as a provider, right? So ito po ba ay may contract po ba tayo ng minimum? And then, let's say, pag meron po tayong mga materials, like for example, we created the content. Okay, and then eventually we wanted to find another provider. So, so kanina po yung content. Are you supposed to get that content from us, or can we copyright that content? So first question, how long yung contract minimum, and then the second question is if we are able to create the content, who owns that content? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your question, Sir Andre. So for the first question po tungkol sa minimum of the contract, we recommend minimum of 1 year. We have tried po before na on a monthly basis, pero ang maganda po kasi in having a 1-year contract is for your school or for your organization to really be well-versed with the system. Pag paiba-iba po kasi ng system, minsan it's another new learning para sa organization. So we recommend for a minimum of 1 year na engagement po for the contract. And then for your second question po regarding the content po is yours. What we provide is really just the system, the hosting of the system. Actually po, we can also help naman with developing your materials, pero at the end of the day, yung materials po is yours or with the clients that we work with. The reason because ang mga nag-upload naman po ng materials galing din po sa mga partner organizations namin. And if you decide to move to another system, of course, that's a reality that can also happen. It's as easy as exporting all of the materials and moving it into another system. And that's also okay. After that engagement, you will have full ownership of the materials that are within the system. Our service that we will provide to you will be really making sure that the system is aligned with your requirement as an organization. Okay. And I'm good. Okay, nasagot naman
You,
po.
okay, may nagtanong po si Ma'am Christina Rodriguez kung pwede kayo sa LGU run schools.
Yes. Actually, sa internet, ang system po namin, dahil sa experience po namin with AMLC, our requirement also is to provide training nationwide for anti-money laundering topics. So, ang naging experience po namin even within provincial banks, na when they access our system, as long as meron pong 3G connection or kahit minimum of 5 Mbps internet connection, nakakapag-access na po sila ng LMS namin. Of course, may mga recommendations po kami on anong klaseng materials na ina-upload ng system. Pero iniintindi po namin ano po yung mga requirements as an LGU run school, ano po yung typical na internet connectivity. Then pag na-set up po natin yung LMS, magbibigay, of course, ang mga schools or mga organizations, meron po kayong mga materials. Very good po yun. Madali lang po i-upload yung mga materials nyo within the system. Ang magagawa po ng system natin ay matatrack nyo po kung sino po yung nakatapos ng course, mga reports, kahit payment, pwede po magkaroon ng online shop. And nagre-recommend din po kami na, okay, itong video siguro lagay natin sa YouTube para hindi masyado mabigat. Or itong material nyo, mukhang makikita na namin na medyo mabigat yung file. So magre-recommend na po kami ng minimum upload of material. So let's say 10 MBs lang, or maliliit na files sa system. So yes po, pwede po sa LGU run school.
There is another, Ma'am Teresita Manzon is raising her hand. Please unmute yourself na lang, Ma'am Teresita Manzon. You are recognized. And then after
good afternoon.
After po sila.
Si Ma'am Teresita.
Sige po, Ma'am Teresita.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Ma'am Pramedia, actually, I attended one of your webinars regarding this particular LMS. I even asked you how much will it cost us if it will be computed according to per head rate. Then you actually mentioned how much. I even asked you, for example, kung ang students namin, assuming since adjustment period namin until December, though may mga allocations na ng training from TESDA na maliliit. So, ang tansya ko, most likely, kung ako may 3 school, mabibigyan ako ng regular training na tagwa 100 each. That's 300 for 3 schools. Would it be possible na yung account sa isa lang, pero magagamit ng 2 school ko? Anyway, it's a per head naman ang computation, as you mentioned before, kung tama ako, ma'am.
Sige po. Thank you po for that question, Ms. Teresita. Yung tungkol po sa account sharing, we don't recommend po yung account sharing kasi po hindi makikredit yung progress ng training dun sa tamang tao po. Nagkaroon po kami ng similar na experience sa corporate side na ina-allow yung account for 2 users or pa sa isang branch or let's say to 1 school. And ang nahirapan po sa pinaka-manager ng LMS or ng system is hindi po nila makikita sino ba ang nakatapos nitong course na to, sino ba nakatapos itong training. Actually po ma'am, sabihin ko na rin po ngayon na possible po siyang maging data security issue. Kasi po yung data ng isang user, ma-share po siya sa ibang tao. Dahil po sa experience namin sa AMLC, we recommend po na 1 user or 1 school. Pwede po kasi kaming tumulong din para ma-set up para hindi po makita ng school na yon yung ibang students sa ibang school. Pero ang recommendation po namin is per head on a per user or per student basis. And ayun po. Yun po yung sa security. And then, siguro to answer din yung next question nyo po tungkol sa investment. Ang recommendation po namin is on a 3,000 students. Actually, pwede po ako magbigay ng ballpark figure, pero of course, after this call, baka maganda po that we have a discussion ano po yung requirements nyo and ano po yung kung magko-connect pa kayo sa ibang systems. Pero base sa na-explain ko po kanina, na included sa package po namin, na hindi lang po siya system, pero pag-connect po sa ibang systems nyo, hosting and software updates, hindi po tayo tataas ng 700 per student. So below 700 per student siya for the entire year. Now, baka magulat po kayo, 700, baka malaki pa po yun. We also look at po kasi yung ilang students ang nasa system po namin. Pag mas marami po yung students within the system, mas mababa po yung magiging per head or per student. So pag mas marami pong nasa system, mas nagiging mas mura po siya. Kasi po sa amin, ang basis namin is set up po ng isang system. Tapos of course, magiging cost-effective po siya pag mas maraming gumagamit.
Okay, thank you.
I think if I may add, Ma'am Teresita, I am not sure if it's part of her question. Yung you can aggregate the 3 schools, di ba? Like,
that's right.
Para maabot yung minimum number. So for example, in our case, so we are not only a university, meron din kami a school, meron din kaming college maliit. So we can aggregate the total population of all those 3 schools para ma-reach namin yung 3,000 para makuha namin yung price per student na kaya namin.
Tama, yes po. That's correct. Ang setup po kasi ng system namin is we also help identify, kasi ang experience po namin sa corporate, di ba may iba-ibang departments po, HR department, let's say L&D department, training department, operations department, so we can have a similar approach po na university with different schools, may kanya-kanya silang access. Pwede po natin i-set na itong school, ito lang yung magkaka-access sila. Kahit sa back-end po, makikita lang nila yung mga users for that school. So ayun po, pwede po exactly na nasabi po ni Attorney Peachy, pwede pong mag-aggregate ang iba't ibang schools.
Can we now recognize Ma'am Pat for her comment and question?
Okay, yes, Ms. Pat.
Thank you, Attorney. Yeah, Miss Joyce, I'm starstruck with your presentation. It's awesome. The system. Okay. Yeah. Now, you know naman, the advocacy of TVET is really to help our, lalong-lalo na yung mga maliliit na eskwelahan. Lalo na yung mga nasa far-flung areas, like yung nasa third level ng mga provincial district. Now, balikan natin yung sinabi ni Sir Dan regarding the least economic size. So you address that na pwede isama siya doon sa 3,000.
That's correct.
So siguro we can talk about that. Paano natin mapag-usapan how much 'yon, 'di ba? Kasi very important ito dito sa aming mga members na maliliit, na so that they can cope up really with the impact of this COVID. Napag-usapan nga natin na paano sila makakautang sa bangko, and were you the one who mentioned about the DBP? And it's very very welcoming info. Now, another one is TVET or TESDA, yung mga training courses dito are competency-based. Okay?
Yes,
but there are courses na heavy ang materials. Depende sa sa training qualification nung kurso. So I'm sorry for my ignorance. I'm not really keen on this. Pero syempre when we do policy, tinitingnan namin yung isa-isa kasi 'di ba, unlike ang mga universities and colleges, okay, ito yung kurso. But ang TVET kasi, ang TESDA kasi is competency based. Let's say caregiver course is 6 months, And then health accountancy is another thing. 3 months. Housekeeping is another thing. Now, doon sa halimbawa i-offer ninyo, ilan ang limit ng pwedeng ipasok doon ng isang school? Halimbawa, ang school ko, I'm offering 5 courses. So, how can you help us in how can we put that in one learning module?
Okay po.
And then of course kasama na doon how much. So kaya nga sabi ko, I'm sorry for my ignorance. You're the expert on that. And of course, hindi lang ako nag-iisa. Maraming maliliit, as I said, so that we can address them. Nahihiya lang yan silang sabihin. No? Parang, ano ba yung sinasabi nilang LMS? Ano ba yung AML na yan? So, paano ba yan makakatulong sa amin? Kasi nakikita ko naman na malaking tulong talaga ito. Sa una lang, parang, okay, mahal, pero kasi marami kami.
Tama po.
Then perhaps you can join the 3,000, di ba? Di ba mga Chinese businessmen, kahit na mura, basta marami. Makuha mo yung sistema, right? So, TVET is a very big organization, wherein basta lang makita nila yung produkto. So, yun yung point ko. How can we help these small entrepreneurs to your system? Matulungan natin sila, and of course, matulungan namin kayo. That's it, Ms. Joyce. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your question, Ms. Pat. I think the first that I'll address po is your question about the content tungkol po sa competency-based training. May na-set up na po kaming system na marami po kasing activities na pwedeng gawin sa course. Depende na po sa materials na sabi ko po kanina, that we understand what is how you do your training, if you do more videos, if you do ebooks, if you have maybe mga documents, we can set that up within the system on a per course basis. And then yung second question po is tungkol sa how these smaller schools could benefit within the system. So our approach po kasi as an LMS, as a learning management system, is ang initial understanding po kasi actually even in a school level and in a corporate level, similar po siya kasi ang similarities, nag-upload po kayo ng training materials, meron po kayong trainees or students na mag-a-attend, and as a school, as a system, dapat po alamin nyo sino ba yung nakatapos, ano ba yung result ng assessment nila. And you mentioned na may mga program offerings din po kayo na baka 3 months lang. Kagandahan po ng system namin na although may mga naging may mga naging clients kami na school year based, we have also set up the system for a corporate level. Ang ibig sabihin po nito na meron po kaming mga nagawa na training or courses na pwede lang magka-access within 3 months. So let's say, ang student o ang gustong matuto, pwede po siyang mag-enroll sa LMS niyo po. At pwede po din siya magbayad online, pwede po mag-set up ng online shop, tapos magbayad po doon, tapos bigyan po siya ng access, 3-month access or 3-month program within the LMS. So yun po ang pwedeng maging blended approach, or doon po natin matutulungan ng mga schools para magkaroon po ng online learning modality. Now, yung next concern po is tungkol sa paano ba i-accommodate yung mga schools. Let's say na marami po kayo as TVET. Sa experience po namin, we worked with, actually may client po kami na 10,000 plus ang naging users who went through the system. Actually, UK-based po siya. Nandito po yung LMS director po namin. Baka nandito pa po siya, si Mr. Hal McLean. Ayun, nandun po siya sa panelists today. We've had experience setting up the system for a large organization. Actually, ang example po na mabibigay namin is for a, in the UK. So we set up this system so that coaches in the soccer coaches will be accredited to become an expert coach trainer because they're handling children. Of course, we can't. We have to make sure that these coaches know how to train children. Of course, with the concerns on privacy, on etc. So in terms of, I think the question naman is how to scale the system according to your members. Now, Hal can also attest to this that it's actually unlimited. So what we can do is we can set up the base of the system. We try to understand kung ilan po ba or how many are the expected users. Let's say based on schools, if we put that together, it will reach 5,000 or reach 10,000 or reach 3,000. We can help set up the school in such a way that, kasi on our end, medyo technical na po siya, yung pag-setup ng host, ng mga software, para po ma-accommodate at maganda po ang experience ng learners. So that's on our end. From the smaller schools, what they will offer or what they will, the effort that they will do is how they would want to set up their courses. Kasi po ang ino-offer po namin yung system. Of course, we'll do training, how to use the system, how to upload courses, show the different activities that can be set up. And then this is where the small schools' expertise will come in. They'll create their courses for what programs they offer. We can help create the online store within that large system. Kasi pwede po kaming, we call it sub-user. So ito po yung isang group of a school, or let's say of a training group. We can set an access na yung mga courses lang ng within that group, magkakaroon lang ang access ng mga students nila. So yun po yung magiging tulong na ang hosting para po siyang magiging shared to all of the users, pero bibigyan po namin ng mga specific access on a per school basis. Of course, the next question is yung affordability po niya. Masasabi po namin that we are one of the more affordable ones on the market. From our experience, yung mga ibang LMSs po na pag konti po lang, umaabot po siya ng 1,000 pesos. Affordable din po siya with the more users that we have in the system. So I hope na sagot ko po yung tanong niyo po, Ms. Patricia Delmas.
Yeah, thank you very much. Nasagot naman talaga. You know what, kasi ganito, if I may, no, I'm really helping, like for example, si Miss Elma, nag-chat siya sa akin. I understood kung ano yung concern niya. Kasi there are competencies, qualification na ayaw pang payagan ng test. Now, of course, I'm part of the policy makers. Kung yun na, nakita ko kasi yung ganda ng sistema nyo, naintindihan ko siya. Kung maipo-program lang yung mga healthcare services ng mabuti at maipapakita nyo yung activities and show it to test, present it to test doon sa board and the planning people, mas maiintindihan nila. Kasi ang nagpipresent isa-isa, pagkatapos iba-iba. Parang it's difficult to really comprehend kung ano yung gusto ng isang school na ito. Now, if it is the association that will present it, you know, na nandoon talaga yung competency base, and then ano yung input outcome na hinihingi. Kasi alam ko yung hinihingi dahil kami yung gumawa ng polisiya. Hindi kasi namin nakikita. Now, if you are going to help us, of course, design this system in the system, napakaganda sigurong gawin kasi sila mismo mai-starstruck pag nakita yon. Ang tatanungin na lang yan nila, magkano ba? So, hindi naman silang magbabayad eh. It is the TEBSA feel. So, in the long run, this is looking forward. Kapag nagawa namin yung design na yun, hindi lang sa healthcare, lahat ng kurso na hindi pa pwedeng payagan kasi may contact to eh. Kung mai-design siya, maipapaliwanag sa authority na hindi naman to nakakatakot pagdating ng face-to-face through LMS, napakaganda. Sino ba magsasabing hindi natin pwedeng payagan yan? Even perhaps AATF will accept it if it is done delicately by you. Yun yung gusto kong makita. Yun yung gusto namin i-propose kung papayag nga kami yung sa board. Kasi this one is a long-range planning. Maipakita natin, magkaisa kami at ipakikita namin na pagdating ng face-to-face, ito ang mangyayari.
Opo.
Kumbaga, safety kasi palagi ng tao, ng estudyante, ng graduates ang ano dito, ang priority. So kung makikita na kasi kami yung gagawa ng detalye, 'di ba? And then i-design ninyo. Oh, kasi parang okay, ito yung universal law on healthcare. Na susundin namin. Oo, kung may design natin 'yon at may papakita natin 'yon, I don't think so si Elma Ayop nagtatampo na kailan daw siya makakapagbukas. Yon. And not only Elma, we have Christina, we have Pamela sa kanyang EMS, ang daming healthcare the beauty care, ayan, ingat na ingat yung aming presidente kasi nga yung contagious diseases. So kung may pakikita yon sa contagious diseases na ito mahahawa yung ano, yung instructor, mahahawaan siya nung client niya. Kung maipapakita ito ng maganda, kasi kami yung magdi-design pero gagawin ninyo yung ano, yung sa system. I hope you understand yung gusto kong mangyari. It's a long range plan na ano siya, I know it's doable. Nakikita talaga ang mga eskwelahan. Yun yung vision ko na matulungan mo kami sa ganon. And perhaps pag nakita namin yun, you know, yung kasing fees na pag-uusapan yan kapag maganda ang produkto. So yun Miss Joyce. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Patricia. Actually, ang masasabi ko po ngayon
thank
is
you so much.
ang approach din po kasi pwede po siyang facing Actually, mukhang matagal niyo na po itong pinag-iisipan, yung frustration of having an online system.
Oh, yes.
Actually, kami po, ang maitutulong po ang maitutulong po namin yung system. At ang nakikita ko po sa inyo na you're ready with the material, with the competencies. Kasi po, sa experience po namin, we do that for our client, for our corporate clients. Meron po silang internal competencies for their employees. And ang maganda po is at nasabi nyo na po na meron na po kayo. How we can help is how to make that into an online program.
Yes, an online program na napakaganda at pag nakita ng pag present namin, hindi nila sasabihin na wag. Yun, parang ganon. So, kasi it's all we have the documents, ako nga ang pattern ko sa sa healthcare ko is based on UK and Australia. So, hindi ko naman pwedeng kopyahin yung kanila, 'di ba? We want our own. Ako mismo sa TESDA, sa policy, frustrated ako kasi palaging may budget you know. Anyway, malaking tulong. Siguro later we can talk about it with Attorney Pichi and all the the board so that we can help the small entrepreneurs. Ito yung mga importante sa buhay natin ngayon, the SMS, di ba? Thank you again, Miss Joyce.
May tanong po si
Sir Dan.
Yeah.
Sir Dan.
Ma'am Joyce, I would like to pursue. Alam mo yung chairman namin, very passionate po yan si BN Pat. Sa pag pinag-uusapan na po yung advocacy, ang TEPSA-Phil po kasi ang core principle nito is how to help those who need the help the most. Kaya siguro, Ma'am Joyce, we're appealing to your corporate social responsibility. Pwede po bang matulungan ang TEPSA-Phil as an organization? Will you consider consortium of small TVIs para at least ma-approximate namin yung 3,000? Kasi ma'am, if you are talking about technical vocational institutions, bihira po ang merong 3,000 na enrollees. Mahihirapan po tayo dyan. We are only talking, pag mga 3,000, mga colleges and universities na po yan, or basic education. Kaya, would you consider a consortium na hindi yung siguro magkakatabi kasi hindi pwede yung estudyante ng katabi ko makikita nung estudyante nung kapitbahay. Parang ganon. For example, kami yung dalawa ni Andre, ni Vice President Andre na nasa Dagupan, ako nasa Bicol, isa nasa Mindanao, isa nasa Visayas. Is that possible under your system? Yan ang first question. Kahit na multi-location, pwede, kaya po ba yan? Anyway, online naman. Pangalawang question, Ma'am, hindi na ba talaga pwedeng bumaba doon sa 3,000? You mentioned about 500, 1,000. Pwede po ba parang missionary corporate social responsibility para matulungan yung maliliit doon sa mga barangay, yun talagang nagsiserve po doon sa mga indigents or yung mga OFWs. O, yun ma'am, para magkaroon tayo, we can explore a MOA with your company, parang corporate social responsibility, helping yung pong mga technical vocational institutions para naman maka-avail nitong fantastic product and service na ino-offer ng yung company. Yun ma'am, ibaba natin yung hurdle na 3,000, whether pwede sa inyong consortium. At yun nga, ang development phase natin, believe ako, 2 weeks. Sabi nyo, ang gestation period is only 2 weeks. Naku, mabilis yun. Wala ako nakita ang LMS na madi-develop, mai-install mo in 2 weeks. O sabi ko, this is fantastic. So, ma'am, yun ang mga, alam ko, yun ang mga thinking aloud, mga iniisip ng mga kasama namin dito. Pwede ba, ma'am, na maibaba yung 3,000? Pwede ba, ma'am, na yung kung mag-consortium kami, pwede ba ma'am na we can have a MOA between your company and TEPSAFIL under a corporate social responsibility para po ma'am maikalat natin to sa buong Pilipinas at yung mga tao na talagang nangangailangan ng tulong sa panahon ng pandemya ito. Yung plan po ang aking mga huling katanungan. At kinakalabit ko po yung puso ni Ma'am Joyce.
Apa.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay po. Sige, I'll respond to that po. Thank you, Sir Efren. These are yung mga important questions that I'm sure yun po yung mga tinatanong niya nung nagpe-present po ako. Yung very first po na tungkol sa 3,000 na users, sa experience po namin, 3,000 na po yung pinaka-best para po maging cost-effective po siya. So, we understand na mukhang may mga schools na tingin nyo po na baka hindi po sila masama sa user amount na yon. Actually po, ang consideration po namin is that we want to extend it to all of the schools. So kung sa tingin nyo po na may mali-leave out na school, we'll make sure na magiging or magkakaroon din sila ng access within the 3,000. Yung sinabi nyo po tungkol sa consortium, possible po yun kasi po ang pag-setup namin sa system, again, as mentioned, pwede naman namin magbigay ng smaller access. Kasi meron din kasi kaming naging client na may mga external nag-access sila ng, may mga, kaya sa company, tapos may external na magta-try ng training, pwede po kasi siyang i-set up ng special na access for other schools na hindi nila kailangan ng full LMS. Kunyari, magta-try lang ng isang course. Pwede po actually nila i-try, siguro ibang engagement na po yan. Kaya po namin nasabi yung 3,000 kasi yun po yung para mas maging cost-effective para sa ano po natin, sa mga students or sa mga organizations na magtatap po sa amin. Yung corporate social responsibility, actually, na-consider din po namin yun. Yung po namin is that we really offer support in terms of making sure na hindi lang po yung system lang, tapos bahala na po yung schools sa system. Ang ibang tulong po rin na po-provide namin is para ma-make sure yung mga webinars po, pwede nyo po kaming i-invite para makapagbigay ng training. Kasi po ayaw po namin na kung i-offer po namin ng mas mababa, baka po hindi namin mabigyan ng magandang service sa mga mag-attend ng mga, or magagamit ng system. Kaya po namin na-set ng mga 3,000 po. Kasi we want to do more. We want to be able to support yung mga schools, how to use the system. Meron po kasi kaming mini-maintain din na support, na IT support para po pag may katanungan yung school or yung organization, makakapagbigay kami ng training. Ang ayaw po kasi namin mangyari na mabigyan po kayo ng system na hindi po kayo sigurado paano po siya gamitin or paano po siya ma-maximize. So yung 3,000 po yun, wag po kayo matakot na yun po yung hindi po tayo makakapag-proceed kung hindi tayo naka-achieve ng 3,000. Yun po yung consideration namin na pwede po siyang up to 3,000.
Okay.
So sabihin po natin na kahit konti lang po, pero alam po natin na eventually magkakaroon ng 3,000. Pwede po natin pagsama-sama tong schools, ano ba yung may kasabihan po that the whole is greater than its parts.
Yes, tama.
So
Synergy.
synergy po. So that's how we want to help you po na kahit na yung mga small schools, hindi po siya left behind kasi po pwede po tayo ng ala consortium na access.
So, may pahabol lang ako. Attorney Pichi, with your indulgence and BM Pat, ma'am, are you open for a memorandum of agreement between your company and our organization? Ang member po namin is nationwide. May maliliit, may malalaki. Meron nag-o-offer ng TESDA courses only. Meron po nag-o-offer ng TESDA, merong senior high school, at meron din pong college. O kaya nga ho, siguro ma'am, sinagot mo na pwede ng consortium. For example, magko-combine po kami nila Dr. Elma, ni Vice President Andre, tapos yung ako, tapos malay mo kaming dalawa ni Attorney Pichi, si Commodore Nelson, yung idol ko sa Manila. Kayang-kaya namin po yung abutin yon 3,000 kung consortium. Pero ma'am, kahit multi-site, payag kayo po. Gusto ko lang pong linawin kasi after this presentation, I will request for a board meeting. Titingnan namin kung ilang consortium ang pwedeng mabuo namin, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, para talaga ma'am, ayaw namin pakawalan yung maganda ninyong serbisyo. O kaya nga, naghahanap kami ma'am ng ways and means so that we can avail of this service para talagang matulungan natin yung mga kapwa Pilipino natin sa panahon na talagang nangangailangan sila ng tulong. So ma'am, clarify ko, one, okay po sa inyo ma'am ang consortium. Pangalawa, yung 3,000, hindi po yun one time. Pwede naman na nagkakalap pa kami ng enrollees, pwede po yan within one school year na abutin namin. Pwede rin po ba yun?
Yun po yung, para po kasi isi-set up po namin na good for 3,000. Opo.
So while sineset up ninyo,
pag hindi kasi umabot ng 3,000,
nagkakamping kami for enrollment para abutin yon with our consortium. Pwede po yun, ma'am.
Yes po, pwede
okay,
rin
ma'am.
po siya. Basta po umabot ng 3,000.
Pangatlo, ma'am, I will request for a board meeting after this webinar. Nandiyan naman yung corporate secretary namin, Attorney Pichi. If we can explore a memorandum of agreement between TEPSAPIL in your company, paano namin ma-avail yan? Yun naman, ma'am, na kondisyon na hindi naman kayo dihado. Yung bang, sabi mo nga, may synergy tayo, magkakatulungan tayo. Magaling po dyan si Attorney Pichi gumawa ng mga ganyang mga agreement.
Actually kasi mayroon silang fixed cost.
Okay.
Yung fixed cost na yon, kung kahit 200 students, kaya patulan yung may fixed cost eh. Kaya lang syempre, yung spread mo, lalaki kung kukunti lang yung estudyante mo.
Yes.
Lalabas siyang napaka-expensive.
Oo, magiging...
Pero kung marami kang estudyante, very cheap na siya. Very cheap na siya. Kaya, kumbaga, the reason why I am signing up with them, no, is because maganda yung pricing, maganda and very affordable siya sa maliliit na eskwelahan. Talagang, and they are very open to negotiation kung anong kailangan mo, what they can do, what can be adjusted, and they can do branding. They are very accommodating on that part, no. I have, as a university, no, if I may mention this, ang daming lumapit sa amin na mga malalaki, Canvas, Blackboard. Actually, before I signed up to them, I was negotiating with Google Education Suite. Kahit si Moodle, kung kukunin mo siya as a school, may bayad siya actually. Kaya maraming libre, totoo yon. Like Google Classroom, libre yon. Pero as an administrator, wala kang control. Wala kang control kasi it is a free app. It is a free app. So hindi mo nakikita unless i-member ka nung as a party doon sa classroom niya. Mahirap na, I mean, that's not very efficient administrative wise. That's why I was really pressing on an LMS. And I found them, and they're very, kumbaga tamang-tama lang kumbaga tamang-tama lang yung ino-offer nila para sa pangangailangan namin. That's why, and when I found them, I have also decided to share it with the group so that those who have problems of looking for an LMS, I think they can I can help them, or they can be helped by media. So yun. I think some of us already have LMSs. Mama Del has an LMS already. Ma'am Delma has an LMS already. But of course, she's still looking around kung meron pang mas maganda. So yun. So yun. That's why I was I think it's really up to the school, and I think actually Joycey, the intention was really for TEBSAPIL to come up with consortiums so that the smaller schools can sign on to an LMS. Yun talaga yung pinaka-intention why we invited you, so that the smaller schools can see if they can sign on, if they can see that nakaka-fulfill ng needs nila yung service ninyo, and then we can encourage them to sign on with you. And then we can all group together so that we can reach the 3,000, and then it will be a lot cheaper for the schools. For the students, actually. For the students. Kasi ipapasa din namin yung expense kasi syempre doon sa school It will become part of their tuition. Siguro sa aking experience, I really had a costing that did not kumbaga yung sa cost ko kasi hindi ako nag-increase ng tuition fee. So, sabi ko dapat pasok doon sa mga hindi ko na kumbaga hindi ko na magagamit na fees, like syempre yung mga cultural fee, hindi mo na pwedeng ipataw yon, yung mga athletic fee. So yun, yung mga fees na ganon, doon ko kukunin yung para sa LMS para wala ng additional expenses to That's in my experience po. So I think Sir Andre is raising his hand. He has a question. After this, siguro Andre, I will call another question from the chat.
Yeah, thank you, Peachy. Ms. Joycey, I have another proposal. Kasi kanina, maganda yung sinabi ni board member Pat about helping out small schools, and then at the same time, yung sinabi ni Sir Dan about clustering schools. Maybe, kasi so namin talaga na tumulong sa mga members namin sa TEBSAPIL, how they can perhaps avail of this product or service for as much as possible for free. And maybe we could come up with a scheme where baka pwede naman kami mag-solicit ng sponsors to perhaps subsidize this one, and then maybe siguro siyempre maghahanap na lang kami ng value proposition for them, kasi siyempre tatanungin nila what's in it for us, and we'll try to find a way so we can bring down the cost of the service that you're providing. And then ito kasi we're not really sure how long this kind of arrangement, because we're new normal, we were forced by the circumstances to move towards blended learning, and definitely hindi rin to magtatagal. So yun nga, sabi mo it's only 1-year contract, but still this is a very huge expense for smaller schools. Malaking bagay talaga to. So if we can provide this for free to them, to our members, baka pwede ang association namin can come up with the fundraising scheme. We can get San Miguel Corporation, kaibigan po ang associate ko ang mga malalaking kumpanya. So maybe we could ask them to pitch in and donate something to help us get by with this kind of service, and we can subsidize our fees. Then malaking bagay yun. So are you open to that arrangement, Ms. Joycey? Are you open to that?
Thank you for that. Thank you for that clarification. Yes, we're actually also open to sponsorships being covered by, as you mentioned, maybe sponsored by another company. another option is, for example, if there are larger schools can also help sponsor smaller schools. Actually, Sir Andre, there are many ways to approach this. As we mentioned, we're also quite adaptable to ano ba ang situation ng school, sino ba ang magiging network nila. One example that we can share is, for example, a larger school, or let's say in the region, my host school who can host these other smaller schools. That's one way. The second way would be, it could be, as you mentioned, you can also get sponsors for the platform, for the LMS platform. Perhaps there can be co-brand. Ito, ideas lang naman po to. Co-branding or mentions of your sponsor within the LMS. Ito, another idea lang po. Ito ay mga ano lang, just to, you know, to help you envision paano po ba magagamit yung LMS. Pwede siguro din magkaroon ng TVET LMS.
Yes,
And
tama.
na-sponsored by
National Bookstore, for example.
For example po. We're open na. Opo. And then, under yung TVET po na branding, pwede po magkaroon ng small schools na may access dun sa platform or dun sa LMS. And of course, finally, ang concern din, if ang concern din po is yung funding, meron din po kasi tayong e-commerce na feature. So, yung e-commerce na feature, we can, within the LMS, pwede din po tayo mag-open ng online shop for your school, para din po maging revenue generating din siya. You mentioned na you would want to diversify what you do, yung mga online shop, mga food stalls, nagbebenta online. You can do the same din po, na the program offerings that you have, pwede nyo po siyang i-extend nationwide. Kahit po, may mga narinig po ako dito na posibleng magkaroon ng learners from Germany, from all over the world, na mga Pinoy na gustong mag-upskill. Pwede nyo po kasing gamitin yung LMS para po lengthen ang network nyo po. So, ang feature din po within the LMS, yung e-commerce feature po namin, pwede po din tayo mag-open ng online stores for your courses.
Ma'am Joyce, lalong gumaganda po yung usapan natin tungkol dito sa presentation ninyo. Kaya siguro ma'am, gagawa siguro kami ng committee para pag-aralan kung ano yung pwedeng ilagay natin doon sa Memorandum of Agreement. Of course, subject po yan sa approval ng aming board na pinangungunahan ng aming very passionate PM Pat.
Opo. Okay. So, time check. It's already 5:35. But there were so many questions earlier that I think some would like to be addressed. But there is a motion, or there is a move that we will have our webinar on a monthly basis, so that we can share best practices po with each other. So, but actually po, may mga questions pa way back from na para po doon sa unang speaker po natin, si Sir Neil, Dr. Neil, tapos si Ma'am Sorna. May mga questions po yung dito sa ating chat box. Siguro, kung nandito pa po si Professor Jason Cabatuando, let me check the participant box. Let me check. Professor Cabatuando. Wala na siya. Nandito pa. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Can I ask you to unmute yourself?
Hello po, Atty. Pichi. Good afternoon.
Opo. You said something about sharing your experience with regards to submission of the requirements with the TESDA po. May gusto ka pong ma-mention?
Okay po, this is regarding po kasi the application for the Certificate of Recognition for existing TBI. We're going to implement blended learning po. Yun po siya. Kasi po dito sa province, as early as May, dito po nung naglabas na ng circular ang TESDA, tinulungan na po kami ng mga, on the part of the trainer, tinulungan na po kami ng mga association. Actually po, ang NEET-V, through the President po, Madam Teresita L. Manson, nag-organize po siya ng 4 na part na webinar series regarding po dun sa pagka-facilitate ng e-learning sessions at saka po yung familiarization po on Moodle and other learning management system, as well as po yung updating and revisions po ng CBC. Yun po siya. The same as true po right now, ongoing po ang multiplier para po ng TESA sa facilitate e-learning session. But based po on the latest debate forum, nag-organize rin po ang isang association na I am also a member, yung FAPTI ng Pampanga kay Sir Bong Season. At with ATAP po, andyan po siya si Ma'am Maria Febulao, siya po presidente ng Association of Trainees and Sales ng Pampanga. Nakapag-conduct na po sila ng one batch ng facilitate e-learning session. I-share ko lang po na malaki po kasi ang ginagampanan ng trainer when it comes to the application po for recognition. So number one step po na ginawa namin will be the updating po of the competency-based curriculum. Actually po, in place naman na ang competency-based curriculum ng lahat ng school. So kailangan lang po ma-update siya. Specifically po dun sa mga areas or mga portions like training delivery po, kasama na rin po ang resources, modules of instructions po, at saka po yung trainer's qualifications. Yun po siya. Alam naman po natin ngayon na hindi po sapat na may NTTC yung trainer natin. Dapat nakapag-undergo talaga siya ng training for facilitate e-learning session at kaya po niyang mag-facilitate or mag-load at mag-digitize ng content sa anumang learning management system na gagamitin po. And then another po, yung pong revised shop layout po. Yun po siya. So existing naman po yung ating layout before. Kaya lang po there should be 1 meter distancing po between trainees. So kung dati po ang laboratory could accommodate 25 people, most likely that will be reduced in half po. So i-revise niyo po yung layout po. Katulad po nung pinakita po ni Ma'am Sor na kanina. And then po, of course, dapat po maliwanag yung guidelines on health protocols ng institution po. Abiding by the rules po of the IATF and LGU. Actually po, dun, nakita ko po kasi kanina may mga questions about dun sa marami daw pong dokumento. Actually, wala naman pong masyadong dokumento. When it comes to resources, ang i-invest lang, ang kailangan lang pong idagdag ngayon, of course, ng mga private TBIs would be, of course, dahil tayo po ngayon ay may health and safety protocols, so we need to procure po, of course, sanitation equipment, disinfectant, face mask po, mga hand sanitizers, ganun po, yun po siya. And then on the part of the LMS, dapat po maipakita na mayroong isang area in the school where the webcast will be facilitated po by the trainers po. So siguro po, ang final sharing ko po is that lahat naman po kasi ng TVI at assessors may association yan. So siguro po they should coordinate with their association because in Pampanga and in Nueva Ecija po, very active po. Of course, ang mga association in helping the trainers po kasi andyan na po kasing equipment automatically ng TVI. So ang kailangan na lang po would be on the part of the trainer po. Thank you po, Atty. Peachy.
Thank you po, Sir Jason. Okay, so there are no more questions on the chat room. Some of the questions have already been addressed. Maybe if there are no more questions, no more raised hands, we can, it's already time check. It's already 5:40 in the afternoon. So maybe we are overstretching our time. So can we now call on Ma'am Pat to give us the closing message before we end the meeting?
Ma'am Pat, Attorney Pichi.
Opo.
Pwede po ba after the closing message ni Chairperson Pat, pwede tayong magkaroon ng kahit video call, kahit mga 15 minutes lang. Kasi marami pong napakagandang napag-usapan ngayon. Ang kailangan lang siguro natin, motion, second motion, and approval so that we can pursue yung pong mga magagandang leads na nakuha natin sa meeting na ito.
I'll
After
post
the
to a new
closing
link.
remarks.
I'll post a new link. Wag na po dito sa ano
Oo
na.
nga.
Another
Sa
meeting.
susunod.
I'll post
After the closing, ano ma'am?
Opo, yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay po. Ma'am Pat.
Okay. Yeah. First of all, I'd like to thank yung mga naging guest speakers natin. And I'm sorry kay Honorable Councilor Vladimir na naputol siya yung connectivity. I think may problem. And thank you so much to Dr. Neil and Miss Sorna. Then si Miss Joycey, hindi ko siya makakalimutan. And of course, si Miss Raquel, kaya mukhang kailangan natin mag-usap-usap, and all the rest of the speakers and panelists. I just would like to read to you what is TVET peer support in response to COVID-19. The global coronavirus COVID-19 outbreak impacts not only our health, lives, and economies, but also the labor market and education sector, especially. Many countries have already implemented temporary measures to slow down the spread of the virus, which includes closing public institutions and schools, private ones. As of July 15, 2020, more than 1 billion learners were affected by the closure of the schools, training institution, and universities. So hindi lang po tayo nag-iisa. This one is worldwide. It's a nationwide, worldwide closure effective in over 100 countries. Consequently, different forms of online learning, that's why this is very important. Different forms of online learning and collaboration have become the focus of attention in an effort to ensure continuity of learning. In these critical times, we would like to draw your attention to the TVET Forum as a platform for mutual support, for TVET peer support, knowledge sharing, and peer learning, where you can seek advice and discuss your current TVET-related challenges and needs. While some institutions and members, especially yung ating maliliit na mga kasama, na mga minamahal na kasamahan of the TVET community may have already garnered, yung ating mga malalaki ring mga kasama, they have garnered already valuable experiences with online learning strategies and are set up to offer large-scale online solutions with much delay. Others are still in the learning phase and may find it useful to hear about working solutions that can be adapted to local context and it should be implemented quickly. Lahat ng itong natutunan natin ngayon, kailangan ma-implement natin ito. That's why I'm so passionate on the presentation of Joycey, Miss Joycey. I'm so passionate hearing reading the chat of Elma, na kailan daw siya makapag-uumpisa. I'm really passionate pa paano masosolve yung problema. Yung kay Professor Jason, tama siya. Madali lang actually, isasama, kung ano yung wala doon sa utpras, yun yung ilalagay natin. Ganon yun, Miss Elma. Tama si Miss Sorna. Then for us to start the exchange, we have to open this discussion, a thread on the TVET forum, and moving to an online TVET learning and response to the coronavirus outbreak challenges and experiences. And with this, if you have napakaganda ng resources natin ngayon. Meron tayong mga resource speaker, yung kay LMS. Thank you very much, Attorney Pichi, for inviting her. And lahat sa ating sa board, si Andre, you know, yung talagang this is very important. And I hope and I'm really positive that we will survive this more than our own expectation. Basta magtulungan lang tayo, and of course we will be with each other hanggang sa matagpuan ng mga scientists ang gamot at saka ang vaccine for COVID-19. And of course, thank you very much to all of you. Lahat, hindi ko man kayo makita, lalo na yung hindi nasama sa panelists. Thank you for coming in. Thank you so much, and good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you very much, BM Pat. Thank you to all the speakers.
Thank you.
Ma'am Sorna, to Ma'am Raquel, also to our counselor na naputol ang presentation na si Honorable Kayabas, and of course Sir Andre, thank you. To Miss Joycey, for giving us her time. I'm sure a lot of the other schools will be contacting you. So salamat po. Hanggang po sa muling general membership meeting po ng TEBSA Phil. Sana po magkita-kita po tayo muli. With regards po sa, by Monday po, we will start sending the certificates po of attendance. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I will now be ending the call. It is now 5:47. So thank you very much, everyone. Hope to see you again.
Thank you. Keep safe, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.